A service of KIBMradio.com, the Internet's home for an all old-time radio.
Palmolive Soap, your beauty hope, and Luster Cream Shampoo for soft, glamorous, caressable hair bring you Our Miss Brooks, starring Eve Arden. Our Miss Brooks teaches English at Madison High. Well, like many other romantically inclined people, she sent the object of her affections, Madison's bashful biologist Philip Boynton, an unsigned card for Valentine's Day. And then she sat down to wait for his reply.
It wasn't that his reply was long in coming. It just didn't come at all. Knowing Mr. Boynton, I wasn't too surprised that he forgot about Valentine's Day, but I was determined to change the locale of our next date. For the past 6 weeks, we had spent every Friday afternoon at the zoo. Now, I am definitely not anti-animal, but I am a school teacher, and hence, after spending 3 hours in the monkey house, I just can't afford to buy Taboo by the quart. I was brooding about it in the school cafeteria on Friday when Harriet Conklin walked over.
Mind if I sit down with you, Miss Brooks?
Not at all, Harriet. But don't you usually have lunch with Walter Denton?
Well, yes, I do. But he's manager of the basketball team, you know, and he's giving the boys an extra skull practice.
Really? Whose skull are they using today?
I hope you're not expecting Mr. Boynton to have lunch with you, Miss Brooks. He told me he was eating his lunch in the laboratory because he didn't want to leave McDougal alone.
Oh, don't tell me that frog is sick again.
Not actually sick. It's just spring fever or something. It's kind of fun to have lunch without any men around anyway. Don't you think so, Miss Brooks?
Well, yes and no.
What do you mean, yes and no?
No.
We haven't had a real woman-to-woman talk in a long time. You know, Walter Denton is crazier about me than ever. All I have to do is whistle and he comes running.
Really?
It's the only way to train them. That's what you ought to try with Mr. Boynton.
I have, but every time I whistle, he opens his lunchbox.
Sometimes his dog-like affection and constant worship becomes absolutely cloying.
Well, I wish Mr. Boynton would cloy me once in a while. By the way, Harriet, when Walter takes you out on a date, where do you usually go?
Oh, all sorts of places, Miss Brooks. A drive in the country or a long walk in the park. Or sometimes we go to a movie and hold hands.
Do you ever go to the zoo?
The zoo? Oh, gosh, no. Except when Mr. Boynton takes us there for his monthly lecture.
That's where I've got an edge on you kids. I hear it every week.
But Mr. Boynton takes you to the movies once in a while, doesn't he?
Oh, yes. As a matter of fact, we went last week.
Was it romantic?
Oh, extremely. We stood in a crowd of people behind a velvet rope for a while, and then an usher said, "There's one down front."
Yes.
That was the last I saw of Mr. Boynton for 3 hours. I finally got a seat in the balcony.
Oh, golly, that's a shame, Miss Brooks. You couldn't hold hands at all, could you?
Not even with the long gloves I was wearing. But about those Fridays in the monkey house, Harriet...
I'm surprised at you, Miss Brooks. You don't really let Mr. Boynton take you to the monkey house every week, do you?
Well, I think it's the monkey house. It can't be the Taj Mahal with all those bananas.
Well, if it isn't Madison High's Ferris, may I join this charming bevy of pulchritude?
Why, Walter, what a lovely speech.
Yes, you are a delightful child, Walter. But if you'll excuse me, Miss Brooks, I'd like to get my entree at the steam table.
Oh, can I be of service, fair Harriet? I'll gladly fetch what you want.
No, thank you. But if you'll sit up nicely when I return, I'll pat you on the head.
Arf, arf.
Can I get you anything, Miss Brooks?
No, thanks, Harriet. Just bring back a roast beef bone and a can of Strong Heart.
Okay, Harriet.
You know, I think it's wonderful the way you kids get along. You're very fond of Harriet, aren't you, Walter?
Very. Plus which, Harriet's the principal's daughter, and I'm manager of the basketball team. And there are things that I can accomplish quicker if I can get to Mr. Conklin without having to go through regulation channels all the time.
What's good about getting to Mr. Conklin so fast?
Well, I like getting things done fast that need getting done fast. Like New Jersey's, for instance.
Like New Jersey's what, for instance?
Not New Jersey's anything. New Jersey. jerseys for the basketball team. Oh, we need them badly.
You do, at that. The ones the team wore in their last game looked awfully fuzzy.
They didn't wear any in their last game. But I'm sure the new ones will come through all right. I'm taking Harriet out on a date tonight, and I can bring it up casually when I see Mr. Conklin at his house.
I don't like to suggest a career for you, Walter, but I have a feeling you're going to kiss an awful lot of babies before you're much older.
Oh, I could never be a politician. I'm too sincere. Oh, but why are we talking about me? You seem to have a problem of your own on your mind, Miss Brooks.
Is it that obvious, Walter? I have been thinking about Mr. Boynton, but only in connection with getting him out of the zoo and into my parlor.
That shouldn't be too tough. What kind of a web are you spinning?
Web?
Look, Miss Brooks, at the risk of feeling like a traitor to a fellow male, I'll help you plot Mr. Boynton's overthrow. But frankly, I'm kind of hungry right now.
Then why don't you eat, Walter, and we can finish building the bomb after lunch?
Oh, say, there's Mr. LeBlanche, the new French teacher. Oh, he ought to know plenty about romance. He's a real Frenchman. I'll call him over.
Don't you dare, Walter. When I'm ready to take my case to the United Nations, I'll let you know. Besides, I've seen Mr. LeBlanche on dates with Miss Enright lately.
So what? Miss Enright goes on dates with anybody. Gosh, every time she sees Mr. Boynton, she makes goo-goo eyes at him.
That's not nice, Walter. Miss Enright's eyes are always that way. I mean, it's unethical.
Unethical is better than lonesome, Miss Brooks. Oh, Mr. LeBlanc.
Walter, please.
You call me Walter?
Yes. Would you be kind enough to come over here a minute? I'd like to talk to you about something very important.
Well, you better talk to him, Walter, because I refuse
I bring my coffee along and... Oh. How do you, Miss Brooks?
Fine. How do you, Mr. LeBlanc?
What did you want to talk to me about, Walter?
Oh, it isn't important. I'll see you later.
Now, that's what I call a real subtle maneuver.
He's a funny boy, no?
No.
Well, now it's just you and I, Miss Brooks, eh?
I'm afraid it's just you, Mr. LeBlanc. I've got to see Mr. Conklin about something.
Mr. Conklin? Please, Miss Brooks, I think Mr. Conklin is a fine principal. But do you have to mention him during the lunch period?
You've got something there. I guess it can wait a while. It's only a question of giving him my weekly $1.
Are you owe him a weekly $1? For what?
It's a long and grim story, but I think I can boil it down to the repulsive essentials. A couple of weeks ago, I took an electric heater of his, connected it in Mr. Boynton's laboratory on an overloaded circuit, and shorted the building, started a small fire, and ruined the heater.
Why do you do that?
I like sirens. Oh, I didn't do it purposely, Mr. LeBlanc. It was an accident. One for which I'm paying at the rate of $1 a week. And today's dollar day at Madison.
Well, that is too bad, Miss Brooks, but it is not money that causes you to look the way you do today.
Is there a sign on my forehead? How do I look today?
Well, there are only two things that can make a woman have the look you have on your face. One is an affair of the heart. The other is the meatballs in this cafeteria. But neither of them is incurable, huh? I'm sure.
You haven't eaten those meatballs lately. Look, it's nice of you to try and cheer me up, Mr. LeBlanc.
Oh, please, call me Paul. And I'm not trying to cheer you up. I'm trying to help you. First of all, tell me this. Did you receive any messages on Valentine's Day?
Oh, scads. I got one from Zimmerman's Bakery, one from the finance company, a lovely little card from Bertie's bicycle shop, in the shape of a pump, that one was. And, oh, yes, a dandy little poem from Sam, our neighborhood scissor sharpener. I think I remember that one. It went, I've applied my grindstone to shears both old and new, but I never met a scissors one half as sharp as you. Wasn't that a peachy sentiment for Valentine's Day?
Oh, quite amusing, yes, but not to you, I'm afraid. Because you're not in love with Sam the scissor or Bertie the bicycle.
No, my problem is Boynton, the biology.
Miss Brooks, since we have taken me into your confidence, I would like to make a suggestion. You must play, how do you say in this country? You must play difficult to acquire.
Difficult to acquire?
Ah.
Oh, you mean hard to get.
Precisely. Now tell me the truth. When Mr. Boynton asks you for an engagement, do you ever say no?
Well, no. But it isn't just because of Mr. Boynton. I'd hate to disappoint 400 monkeys. That is, I haven't gone out with him much lately at all.
Because he do not ask you.
Well, I like that.
I am glad. Miss Brooks, there's one way to get a man interested that never fails. You must make him jealous.
I've tried that, Mr. LeBlanc, but he just doesn't gel out very easily.
Ah, yes, but you've tried it only once. That is not enough. How do the big American advertisings work? A repetition, over and over the same thing. What is it you hear on the radio all the time? Smoke a Benny. Again and again. Smoke a Benny. If you repeat this often enough, you know what happens?
Yeah, Jack gets pretty burned up. No, Mr. LeBlanc, I'm afraid Mr. Boynton is too wrapped up in a frog to pay any attention to me.
Oh, but of course. I forget Monsieur le Frog. You know, in France, we have a proverb. Le chemin au cœur d'homme est par son grenelle. Translation? The way to a man's heart is to his frog.
Well, that's very touching, but I don't see what it has
Oh,
to
it's
do.
so simple, really. Here you have a man with his little pet, Monsieur le Frog. And here you have a woman with her pet, Mademoiselle la Frog. Now, we convince the man that Monsieur le Frog is lonesome. And where can his poor little frog find companionship? With Mademoiselle la Frog. And when the two little frogs are together, where are the man and the woman?
Pricing junior beds for tadpoles.
No, Miss Brooks, no. The man and the woman are also together. Now you know, Miss Brooks, what you have to do to get Mr. Boynton to be back to your door. No?
Yes, I've got to build a better frog trap. Look, Mr. LeBlanc. This idea is a little impractical.
coming, Miss Brooks. Oh, you look better already.
Hello, Walter. Mr. LeBlanc is quite an idea man. We were just discussing a really fantastic scheme. Not only fantastic, but ridiculous and absurd. Walter.
Yes, Miss Brooks?
Run down to Peterson's pet shop and get me a female frog.
Our Miss Brooks, starring Eve Arden, will continue in just a moment. But first, here is Vern Smith. The makers of Palmolive soap are giving away $100,000 in prizes. First prize, $49,000, plus over 4,900 other cash prizes in the Big 49 Gold Rush Contest. Hundreds will strike it rich in this exciting Gold Rush Contest. One of them may be you. It's easy to enter. Just finish this sentence in 25 additional words or less. I like Palmolive soap because. That's all. Just 25 words or less to finish the sentence, I like Palmolive soap because. Then mail your entry right away along with a Palmolive soap wrapper. Try for your share of that $100,000 in prizes right now. Your chance of winning $49,000 is as good as anyone. Get entry blank with complete rules from your dealer or write your completed sentence on plain paper. Include your name and address and dealer's name and address. Mail with one Palmolive soap wrapper for each entry to Gold Rush Contest, Box 49, New York 8, New York. Better write that down. Gold Rush Contest, Box 49, New York 8, New York. Enter as often as you like, including one wrapper with each entry. Get Palmolive soap right away to help win a lovelier complexion and try for your share of the $100,000 in cash prizes.
Well, I gave Walter my last dollar to buy a female frog, and while he was out getting it, I took advantage of a free period to visit Mr. Boynton in his laboratory. Hello, Mr. Boynton.
Oh, hello, Miss Brooks.
I just dropped in to say hello, Mr. Boynton.
Hello.
Well, goodbye, Mr. Boynton.
Oh, don't go yet. I've just been examining McDougal. You know, my frog. He's got me a little worried. He's way off his feed, and we'll look at him. Don't you think his eyes pop out more than usual?
What did you say?
I said, don't you think his eyes pop out more than usual?
Yes. For a minute, I thought he was Eddie Cantor. Hi, Mac. Of course, you know what's wrong with Mac, don't you?
Oh, no, Miss Brooks, I don't.
Well, it's getting very close to spring, and it's just... After all, you raised him from a tadpole, and it's only natural that you should still think of him as your baby, but he's a big boy now.
What do you mean, Miss Brooks?
Well, just this, Mr. Boynton. Did it ever occur to you that Mac gets lonesome all alone in that cage?
Oh, I let him out of the cage quite often. He hops all over the lab.
But what good is that? He hasn't got any friends here.
Oh, I don't know. There are always a number of guinea pigs around. Of course, he doesn't pay much attention to them.
Well, naturally, guinea pigs make fine friends for other guinea pigs. A frog might crave a different kind of companionship.
Well, what about me? I'm very close to McDougal. I've been his constant companion.
If I were a frog, I don't think I'd consider that the ideal arrangement either. No, I think I'd want something a little more frog-like.
What are you getting at, Miss Brooks?
Look, did you ever sit down and tell McDougal about the birds and bees?
What does he want with birds and bees? He won't even make friends with guinea pigs.
Well, let me put it this way. Mrs. Davis, my landlady, has a cat named Minerva. Now, around this time of the year, Minerva keeps us both awake half the night with an almost incessant yowling.
Well, have you tried giving her a saucer of milk?
That's not what she's yowling about, Mr. Barnum.
Milk's very expensive with a cat, usually.
Yes, I know. And believe me, if I thought it would quiet her down, I'd give her an autographed picture of Elsie the cow. But it won't. She's yowling because she's lonely.
Why, Miss Brooks, I didn't know you were so aware of these biological manifestations. Where did you learn all this?
My mama done told me. I mean, I found out about a lot of things since I've acquired my pet frog. Pet female frog, that is.
Oh, you have a pet frog, Miss Brooks? What's her name?
Her name? Millie.
Millie?
Yes, from the picture, The Mating of Millie. Oh, she's awfully cute, too.
Why, you think Mac almost understood what you were talking about?
Well, don't think for a minute he doesn't. What do you say, Mac? Would you like to come over and play with Millie this afternoon? Hooray! Today you are a man, Frog.
Oh, this is amazing, Miss Brooks. Look, if you don't mind, I'd like to ask you if...
shine up your hope chest, Millie. Here it comes.
I'd like to ask you, Miss Brooks, how about a double date? That is, if it isn't too much trouble.
Shall we say my place for tea?
Splendid.
Just bring a pogo stick and a deck of cards, Mr. Barnham.
A pogo stick and cards?
Yes, while Mac and Millie play gin, you and I can have a hopping contest. L'amour, l'amour.
Excuse me. Could you come over here to the door a minute, Miss Brooks? I've got to get to my next class.
Oh, certainly, Walter. I'll just be a minute, Mr. Barnham. Did you get it, Walter?
Yes, it's in this paper bag, Miss Brooks. Here. Thanks. That's okay. I hope it works, Miss Brooks. Well, I'll see you in English.
What's in the bag, Miss Brooks?
This bag? Oh, just a roast beef sandwich Walter brought me.
Well, it's a pretty active one. Hey, look out, it's falling out of the bag. Here, let me see that. Here, I've got him. Oh, Miss Brooks, do you realize what you've got here?
Sure, an FROG. I didn't want to mention it in front of Mac until we got home.
Oh, but this is a male frog. You can always tell. Because in the species Dimorphic gnathus from West Africa, there's a very apparent dimorphism in the dentition. The male's being provided with a series of large serrated teeth in the lower jaw, which in the female is edentulous.
Well, slap me with a wet lily pad. Excuse me, Mr. Boynton. I've got to be running along now.
Oh, why, Miss Brooks?
I've got to see a boy about a frog.
Here, I'll put it back in the bag for you. Now, just hold the top tighter and he won't get away again. I still don't comprehend why you got this male frog.
Well, I didn't know how you and McDougal would react to the idea of keeping Millie company, so I thought I'd play safe and get this one, too.
Oh, I don't think Mac likes the idea very much. Don't be jealous, Mac.
Let him live his own life.
We better not come over this afternoon, Miss Brooks. I'm afraid it'd only confuse Mac.
Look, Mr. Boynton, I don't care if a frog wants to play hard to get, but there's something I'd like you to remember.
Well, what's that, Miss Brooks?
Well, I don't want to sound too much like an English teacher, but when one plays hard to get too often, one sometimes don't get got. I'll just take this frog into my room and see how Walter happened to make such an awful...
There you are, Connie. I've been looking all over for you.
Mrs. Davis, what are you doing in the hallowed halls of Madison High?
Well, I know how you've been waiting for a Valentine card from Mr. Boynton, and I just had to tell you that all hope isn't lost.
But today is Friday, Mrs. Davis.
That's just it, Connie. Some mail came this morning that should have been delivered Monday.
A Valentine?
No, a bill from the gas company.
Now, that's the nicest bit of sentiment since Sam Scissors.
They say that if we don't pay it immediately, they'll shut off the gas.
Just my luck with Mr. Boynton coming over for tea. It couldn't be the electric company promising to shut off all the lights.
No, Connie. And I'm short some money or I wouldn't bother you in school like this. You know, Minerva cost me a lot lately with her special diet, no.
Just how much do you need, Mrs. Davis?
Well, if you'll forgive a slang expression, One greenback will do it.
I just happen to have one on me. He's in this bag here. Now, don't look so alarmed, Mrs. Davis. I'm not cracking up completely. Look, just take this frog back to Peterson's pet shop, and they'll refund my $1. I'll explain why I bought the frog later.
You don't have to explain anything to me, Connie. If you want a frog for a pet, it's perfectly all right. But why are you giving it back?
To keep the gas on, for one thing. Besides, it's a male frog, and I've got to have a female.
Well, you don't have to spend any money for that. I'll get you a female frog in the park.
I never thought of that. I'd certainly appreciate it, Mrs. Davis. Will you bring it back with you after you've paid the gas bill?
Certainly, Connie. And I just know that you'll be very happy together.
And so, class, you were to have these compositions ready by next Tuesday. That's the end of the period. Class dismissed, except Walter Denton. Come up to my desk, Walter.
Oh, I'm glad you asked me, Miss Brooks. I wanted to explain about that frog. You see, Mr. Peterson was out to lunch when I got to the pet shop, so I got you one out of the park pond. But was it all right? I mean, was she a girl?
No, Walter, she was a boy with big serrated teeth in her lower jaw. And what about the $1 I gave you?
Oh, here it is, Miss Brooks. I didn't have time to give it to you before.
Thanks, Walter. That'll be all for now, then. I'd better get over to Mr. Conklin's office and make my payment on that heater.
Well, here I am, Connie. Hello, Walter.
Hello, Mrs. Davis. Goodbye, Mrs. Davis.
Well, what do you think, Connie? Mr. Peterson didn't sell Walter that frog at all.
I know, Mrs. Davis.
But he said it was a very good specimen and traded me a lovely female for him. And instead of giving us any money, he promised that when our frog becomes a husband, we'll get the pick of the litter.
I can hardly wait. But where's the female frog?
Oh, I had that in a paper bag, and it seemed very insecure. So I put the frog in a desk across the hall. Nobody saw me.
Across the hall? But that's Mr. Conklin's office. Mrs. Davis, you wait right here, and if I'm not back in 5 minutes, call the coroner.
Now, what is it? Come in. Oh, it's you, Miss Brooks. Please transact whatever business you have in this office in a hurry. I've got an appointment with the doctor.
The doctor? What's the matter, Mr. Conklin?
Oh, just a checkup. A lot of nonsense, if you ask me. My wife's been telling him all sorts of foolishness about the state of my nerves. To hear her tell it, I've not only got the world's highest blood pressure, but I'm jumpy, anxious, overwrought,
But
irritable.
Mr. Conklin...
Don't interrupt! And I'm ill-tempered. Now, what is it you want?
I just want to give you $1 towards the heater I accidentally injured. Here.
Oh, thanks. Let's sit down for a minute. I'll give you a receipt. I've got a regular Board of Education receipt book around here somewhere.
But, Mr. Conklin, your desk drawer...
Please, Miss Brooks. Don't tell me where I keep my things. Of course it's in the desk drawer. Let's see now. Book should be right over here next to this blotter. Oh, that's funny. Oh, here it is over by this frog. Hello, little frog. Miss Brooks, it won't take a moment to get the receipt. Hello, little frog! Miss Brooks, where did this monstrous... Do you know anything about this horrible creature? How did this get in...
Please, Mr. Conklin, remember the world's highest blood pressure.
Never mind that. What is this frog doing in my desk?
Calm down, Mr. Conklin. Ours isn't the only school that's overcrowded.
I thought you'd never get home from school, Connie. How long did Mr. Conklin spend bowling you out?
Oh, it seemed like hours, but actually it was only a few minutes. You should have been there when Mr. Conklin and Millie here faced each other across his desk drawer. Poor thing, her heart hasn't stopped beating yet.
Neither is yours, Connie. You're as jumpy as Minerva. Are you sure Mr. Boynton said he'd be over for tea?
Oh, definitely, Mrs. Davis. I told him all about how lonely Minerva was and compared her to McDougal. So he's bringing Mac over to meet Millie. It's the first time in weeks we've had a date away from the zoo.
Oh. Well, that's Mr. Boynton now. I'll go make the tea, Connie, and you receive him alone.
All right, Mrs. Davis, coming. Well, it's nice to see you boys. Come in. Let's go into the living room.
Thank you, Miss Brooks. Here's something for Millie. It's from McDougal.
Oh? I'll open it for her. Well, wasn't that thoughtful of Mac, Millie? Just what you needed. A clump of wilted lettuce. Here, I'll put it in this little box I keep her in.
Oh, I guess Mac wants to see what Millie looks like.
Oh, of course. Here, just hold him up. There we are.
Ooh.
This is Mac, Millie.
I think she likes him. But, Miss Brooks, didn't you say you had a cat on the premises?
That's right, Minerva. She usually sleeps in the piano during the day. Here, Minerva, come out of the piano. Oh, well, she'll probably wake up in a little while. Sit down, Mr. Boynton.
Oh, before I do, don't you want to open this big box?
For me? Well, what in the world can this be?
It's a cat, Miss Brooks. I brought him over to keep Minerva company.
Well, here comes Minerva now.
We like each other, too. Miss Brooks, where are you going?
You know where I'm going. I'll meet you by the third monkey from the left.
As our Miss Brooks returns in just a moment, but first...
Dream girl, beautiful luster cream girl.
Tonight, show him how much lovelier your hair can look after a Luster Cream shampoo. Only Luster Cream brings you K-Duma's magic formula blend of secret ingredients plus gentle lanolin. Gives loveliness lather even in hardest water. Glamorizes your hair as you wash it. Luster Cream. Not a soap, not a liquid, but a dainty cream shampoo. Leaves hair fragrantly clean, free of loose dandruff, glistening with sheen. Soft, manageable. Gives new beauty to all hairdos or permanents. 4-ounce jar, $1. Smaller sizes, either tubes or jars. Tonight, try Luster Cream shampoo and be a
dream girl, beautiful luster cream girl. You owe your crowning glory to a luster cream shampoo.
And now, once again, here is our Miss Brooks.
Well, Mr. Boynton finally took McDougal and his cat and left. Mrs. Davis and I had dinner, and then we sat down in the living room to spend a quiet evening. Minerva went back to sleep, and everything was nice and peaceful when the phone rang. Lie down, Minerva. It's not for you. Hello? Hello? Oh, I'm sorry, Minerva. It is for you.
Next week, tune into another Our Miss Brooks show brought to you by Palmolive Soap, Your Beauty Hope, and Luster Cream Shampoo for soft, glamorous, caressable hair. Our Miss Brooks, starring Eve Arden, is produced by Larry Burns, written and directed by Al Lewis, with music by Wilbur Hatch.
Here's good shaving news. 3 men out of every 4 can get more comfortable, actually smoother shaves with Palmolive Brushless Shaving Cream. This is not just a claim. Here's the proof. 1,297 men tried the Palmolive brushless way to shave described on the tube. And no matter how they shaved before, 3 men out of every 4 got more comfortable, actually smoother shaves. Try Palmolive brushless yourself. See if you don't get more comfortable, actually smoother shave the proved Palmolive brushless way.
For mystery liberally sprinkled with laughs, listen to Mr. and Mrs. North, the exciting, fun-packed adventures of an amateur detective and his beautiful wife. Tune in Tuesday evenings over most of these stations. And be with us again next week at this time for another comedy episode of Our Miss Brooks. Bob Lamont speaking. This is CBS, the Columbia Broadcasting System.
Science offers you proof positive. Yes, medical science offers you proof positive.
No other leading cigarette is safer to smoke because no other gives you less nicotine, less throat-irritating tars than the new, smoother, better-tasting Raleigh.
Raleigh's cigarette program starring Red Skelton, with David Forrester and his orchestra, our singing star Anita Ellis, Gigi Pearson, Verna Felton, Pat McGeehan, and yours truly, Rod O'Connor. It's a pleasure to bring you Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer's popular comedian and the star of the Raleigh cigarette program, Red Skelton.
Thank you very much. Yeah, Skelton's back and Marjorie Main got him. Yeah. Thank you and good evening, ladies and gentlemen. How are things tonight with you, Rod?
Oh, I'm really in the green tonight, Red. I went out to Santa Anita today.
Ah, good old Santa Anita, the annex to the Bank of America.
Did you take Mr. Raleigh to the races with you, Red?
No, he hasn't been feeling so well. He's getting that California spring fever.
What's that?
That's double pneumonia that's approved by the Los Angeles Chamber of Commerce.
Well, truthfully, Red, the weather has been wonderful out here the last week.
Oh, hasn't it, though? I was over in the park this afternoon. It was so hot, the little squirrels were sitting around with their fur coats unbuttoned. The sponsor's brother gave me that joke. Tomorrow he'll be back on the road selling Raleighs again.
Well, say, speaking of Raleighs, did Mr. Raleigh go back to Kentucky?
Well, not exactly. We went down to the airport, but they couldn't find seating space for him on a plane.
What happened?
Raleigh's back and Skelton got him.
Well, I heard about you talking to Mr. Raleigh, taking him to the fights the other night at the American Legion Stadium.
Oh, boy, and did I see a knockout. Boy, what a knockout. Too bad her husband was with her. Mr. Raleigh really enjoyed the fights, though. We had good seats. I was sitting between two fat ladies.
Were they really fat?
Fat? I felt like a Florida grapefruit between two California oranges. Hey, Anita, did you enjoy the fight?
Oh, yes, Red, but what was that thing that fell out of the fighter's mouth when he got hit in the jaw?
That was his mouthpiece.
Gee, nowadays some lawyers will work any place to make $1.
You're proud of that, aren't you? You're setting television back 10 years, right?
Say, Anita, do you like prize fights?
Yes, I thought the fights were exciting.
You know, I used to be a fighter.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Were you like Jim Corbett, stand up and box, or like Dempsey, just slug it out?
No, I was more like reconversion. Somebody was always holding me up.
Really? Did they ever carry you out on a stretcher?
No, I had silver handles sewed onto my shorts.
Say, did you know that I used to be a fighter? I used to be a fighter?
Boy, you'd never know the way you're wrestling with that line there. You were a fighter, David? What did they call you?
Battleship Forrester.
Battleship Forrester, huh?
Yep, they gave me that name because I always had to be convoyed to a neutral corner.
I think I'll loan you out to Jack Kirkwood.
Well, were you ever convoyed to a neutral corner, Red?
No, I had a bird dog that used to point it out to me.
Well, truthfully, Red, you don't look healthy enough to be a fighter.
Well, I'm in good shape considering I was very puny when I was a baby. You know, when I was born, I was so puny they were going to drown me.
Why didn't they?
They were ashamed to be seen carrying me down to the river.
Red, is a fighter's life a tough one?
I'll say it is. When he's in training, there's no wine, no women, or no jukeboxes.
Well, what does he do for entertainment?
He breaks training. In a brothel break in here now, I'm sure he has something of great importance to say.
Now, medical science offers you proof positive. Yes, medical science offers you proof positive.
No other leading cigarette is safer to smoke because no other gives you less nicotine, less throat-irritating tars than the new, smoother, better-tasting Raleigh.
Yes, exhaustive scientific tests of America's 6 biggest-selling brands, certified by a jury of 14 distinguished doctors, including eminent throat specialists, have just proved conclusively. No other cigarette gives you less nicotine, less throat-irritating tars, so no other is actually safer to smoke. See if you don't agree, Raleighs are right. Right for taste, right for throat. Try Raleighs. Enjoy Raleigh's rich tobaccos. that milder, smoother, more satisfying Raleigh flavor. Remember, medical science now offers you proof positive.
No other cigarette is safer to smoke because no other gives you less nicotine, less throat-irritating tars than the new, smoother, better-tasting Raleigh.
And now Anita Ellis sings, you'll have to help me. What is this?
Amato Mio.
Amato Mio?
Mm-hmm. It's from the new picture Gilda. I'm going to introduce it tonight.
Mm-hmm. You better sing something else. I can't pronounce that. Must be a Scandinavian number.
Amato mio, love me forever, and let forever begin tonight. When we're together, Amato mio, I'm in a dream world of sweet delight. Many times you've whispered, Amato mio. It was just a phrase that I'd heard in plays I was acting a part. But now when I whisper, Amato mio, can't you tell I care by the feeling there? For it comes from my heart tonight or never. My love, my darling, my arms must hold you and hold you tight. Amato mio, love me forever and let forever begin tonight.
Tonight, the story from the Skelton scrapbook of satire is entitled Telephone. Our characters are fictional. If there's any similarity to persons living, they're imposters. Chapter 88 of Telephones is entitled I Want a Telephone. This is the story of Willie Lump Lump and the trouble he had to go through to get a phone.
Hey, where's the guy who gives out the telephone? Service!
May I help you, sir?
Ah, shut up. I want a telephone.
Have you entered your application?
Yeah, I entered my application real early. You'll find my name right after Alexander Graham Bell.
Have you ever had a telephone before?
Yeah, and I got bills to prove it here.
If you want a telephone, you'll have to pay this old bill, and then I'll put your name on the waiting list.
Well, I'm a veteran. Does that make any difference?
Yes, if you're a veteran.
Yeah.
I can put your name on the preferred waiting list.
Now you're talking. How many are ahead of me, huh?
Well, let's see. There were 3 veterans' applications this morning.
Only 3?
Yes. That makes your number 89,643.
Look, I want a phone while I'm still young enough to hear who's talking.
Is a telephone essential in your job?
It most certainly is.
What do you do for a living?
I play the races.
I'm sorry, young man. I'm sorry, but that doesn't qualify for immediate installation of a phone. Due to the extra load on our present facilities and the shortage of new equipment, emergency certificates get first attention. A doctor's certificate that proves a person is 100% incapacitated might help.
Windy, old bird. is this incapacitated stuff? What's that?
Incapacitated means that you're in such bad health you may need medical attention at any time of the day or night.
Well, the shape I'm in, that ought to be easy. Look, I go pick up my wife and go over and see my doctor, huh?
Hurry, Willie. Maybe we can get to the doctor's office before he closes today. Oh, look, Willie, there's a parking place.
Yeah, there's a guy backing into it. I'm going to beat him to it.
Willie, don't try it. We'll have a wreck.
Oh, no, we won't. What's this, Willie? Bullshit, isn't it?
They ought to take away your learner's permit. They'll give us a ticket for parking here.
Oh, I don't see no red fire plugs, and I don't see no red zones.
But, Willie, people don't park on the sidewalk.
Well, there ain't no sign that says that I can't either. Come on, let's go in and see the doc about getting a telephone.
Now, when you get into the doctor's office, look sick, so he'll give you a certificate for a telephone.
Okay, give me a kiss, will you?
Why, Willie?
You said you wanted me to look sick, man.
Excuse me, I'm Miss Duzick, the nurse. Do you have an appointment?
Yeah, but if you want to go anywhere, I'll break it.
Willie, aren't you forgetting where you are?
No, I just forgot where you were.
If you'll come this way, you can see the doctor now.
Thank you, Ring. She's pretty.
Come in, Mr. Lump Lump.
Dr. Dowd, howdy doody.
Sit down, please. See, what happened to you? Your clothes look terrible.
Yeah, my wife left them lay on the floor last night.
Wouldn't she pick them up?
She couldn't. I was in them.
Now, Mr. Lump Lump, precisely what did you want to see me about?
Well, I want to see about a certificate, a piece of paper for an emergency phone. I'm a sick man, I am.
You're so sick.
The life insurance salesman took back his calendar this morning.
Well, where do you feel sick? What seems to be the trouble?
I can't breathe.
Well, if you can't breathe, how do you stay alive?
Now, I just don't think about it.
You know, the last time you came to see me, I told you to drink 8 glasses of water a day.
That's what I've been doing.
You've just been drinking water?
Yeah. Or might spike it with a little something to kill the taste.
Oh, I'm sorry, Willie, but I can't give you a certificate for a phone.
How can I carry on my business without a phone?
You don't need one to carry on your business.
Oh, yes, I do. Every week I got to call up the Social Security and see if my unemployment check is ready.
Willie, why don't you go home and sleep it off?
Because I ain't tired of it yet.
Now, look, I'm busy. Go on, get out of here.
Look, I got to have a phone. My head keeps ringing all the time. I'm always trying to take my ears off the hook to answer them.
I'm going to take your head off the hook if you don't get out of here.
All right, you will help me get a phone. I'm going to take this one off your desk.
Now, Willie, stop that.
Yeah, now I got it.
Well, you're not going to get through this door with it.
I'll go through the window with it.
Don't be silly. It's a 3-story drop.
I know what I'm doing.
You still know what you're doing?
Yeah, but I'm doing it with a broken neck now.
Remember, medical science offers you proof positive. Remember, medical science offers you proof positive.
No other leading cigarette is safer to smoke because no other gives you less nicotine, less throat-irritating tars than the new, smoother, better-tasting Raleigh.
Tyrone Power, star of 20th Century Fox's forthcoming The Razor's Edge, says, quote,
I changed my mind about cigarettes after I saw the certified reports. Medical science has proved no other cigarette gives you less nicotine, less throat-irritating tars. Thus, no other is safer to smoke. I'd rather have a Raleigh. Raleighs are right.
You're right, Tyrone Power. Raleighs are right. So, friends, next time, try Raleighs. Enjoy Raleigh's rich tobaccos, that smoother, milder, more satisfying Raleigh flavor. Remember, Medical science now offers you proof positive.
No other cigarette is safer to smoke because no other gives you less nicotine, less throat-irritating tars than the new, smoother, better-tasting Raleigh.
David Forrester and his orchestra now play The Man I Love by George Gershwin. Chapter 89 of Telephones is entitled The New Telephone. After waiting a year and a half for a telephone, you really appreciate it when it's finally installed. It makes you so happy that you forget all your troubles. Even Junior, the mean little kid.
Where are you?
If I tell you, you won't like it.
Junior, if you don't tell me where you are, I'll come after you.
I know you won't, kiddo. I'm up on top of the garage roof.
Please come down off the roof. You might fall on the driveway and crack the cement.
Yeah. Well, you sure does love me, don't you, huh?
I have some candy for you.
Oh, no, you ain't tricking me, kiddo.
All right, you stay up there. The man's finally coming to install our new telephone, and I want you out of the way.
Now, I'll be right down, kiddo. I will slide down the roof into my sandbox.
Junior, be careful. You might tear your trousers.
What trousers?
Here. And your good play suit, too.
Yeah, okay, kiddo. Where's me candy? Where's me candy?
Junior. I have here a hairbrush and a piece of candy. Which do you think you deserve?
Well, there's no doubt about it, Grandma. I deserve the hairbrush. You ought to beat me within an inch of me, like climbing up there and taking chances like that. Spare no pain, boy. You see, I know it will wear you out, but go ahead. I want you to just beat me out, beat me out. Beat me out. Well, now you know how I feel, so just give me the candy.
That's enough. Now you get into that house.
Okay. Hey, who did you say was coming?
The man to install our telephone.
Oh.
And if you'll behave, I'll give you a cupcake.
When?
If you're good, you'll get it for dessert.
The big one or the little one?
That all depends on how good you are.
Crumbs again. Boy, you sure is happy one today, Grandma.
Oh, I'm so excited.
Yeah?
Getting a phone these days is just like a blessed event.
Really? Hey, Grandma, was I a blessed event?
No, you were a dirty trick.
I like that. The neighbors are applauding us. Don't talk so loud. The neighbors are listening. Was you surprised when I was arrived? Was the folks surprised? Was my mommy surprised?
Yes. She was expecting a child.
Yes. Sometimes when you talk to me like that, I feel like running away with little orphan Annie. Nobody loves me. I'm just a poor little urchin.
Don't cry.
I don't want it anywhere, I know.
Junior, you're going to cry.
I'm going to cry.
Poor baby.
Yes, a poor baby.
Would he like 15 cents to get a soda?
No. He would like 16 cents as a tax, you know.
Bless his little heart.
Yeah, bless his little heart.
He's trying to trick me into something.
Yeah, he's trying to trick you into something. No. I knew I would carry this too far.
Oh, there's the telephone man.
I will go. We are going to get a telephone. Welcome to the House of Horrors, Dracula. Are you the man from the telephone company?
Yes, I am.
Yeah, my name's Junior.
Junior. I think you're a nice little fella.
I think you got a lot to learn.
Hello. We've been expecting you.
Yeah, for nearly 2 years. You was as scarce as butter, you know.
You've had a telephone in here before, I understand.
Yes, the box is right over there.
Good. I'll have to open the box to check the wires. It's full of marbles. Somebody's been in this box.
Yeah, there must be pack rats around here. Pack rats, them little rats with packs on their back.
Junior, don't you pester the phone man.
Oh, he's not bothering me. I have a little boy just like him.
Yeah? What reform school is he in?
Now remember, Junior, you behave yourself. Mm-hmm. You know why we lost our phone before, don't you?
No.
You were always cutting the cord with my scissors.
No.
Oh, you were much younger then. You wouldn't do anything like that now, would you, Junior?
No, I should say not. Cutting cords with scissors. Now it's because I was such a little child, you know. I got bigger ideas now.
Well, just watch your step, young man. I'm going into the kitchen to prepare dinner. And, Junior, don't forget, I've got the hairbrush with me.
No, I know, kiddo. You wouldn't look like your natural self without that thing in your midst, you know. Oh, she's just sweetie, she is. I get on her nerves, but she is a sweetie. Oh, I love that Grandma.
You know, women sure cause a lot of trouble.
She causes blisters.
Say, you know, you're a smart little fella. What are you going to be when you grow up?
Probably hung. Hey, what you doing there? What you doing?
You just watch me closely, and I'll show you how I install the telephone.
Oh. Hey, when you kneel down like that and your feet out in the back like that and you can't see what's going on, did anybody ever give you a hot foot?
No, indeed, Sonny. The guy doesn't live that would try doing that to me.
You talk like a stranger in town, don't you?
You wouldn't think of giving me a hot foot, would you, Junior?
No, I do it without thinking.
Hand me that hammer over there.
The hammer?
Yes, give it to me,
Okay, you asked for it.
Oh! Did you do that on purpose?
It slipped out of my hand. Look at that lump on your cocoa there. Look at that. Oh, boy, ain't that a dandy. You like to match it up on the other side there? It slipped. Believe me, the hammer slipped. I will.
Well, all right. I believe you.
You do?
Yes, we all make mistakes.
Not like I does.
Well, there we are.
Yes?
Telephone's all connected.
Well.
What do you think of it?
I don't think it's going to last long, truthfully.
Now, I'm going outside and check the wires. I know you'll keep your hands off it while I'm gone.
I might crisscross the wires a little, you know.
Oh, no, you wouldn't do that, would you? You're kidding me.
You just keep laughing, kiddo. You wait till you call up somebody and the guy who answers turns out to be you. You'll find out, kiddo.
Well, I'll trust you.
Yeah. Oh, boy, here I is with a phone. I shouldn't mess with her. And then again, I should. I'd learn to talk on them, you know. Then again, I don't know why I waste me time. I'm going to do it anyhow. Oh, boy, I'm going to have fun with this thing. I'm going to call up the fire department and the police. Oh, boy, what possibilities? What possibilities? I wonder if this thing works yet. I'm going to test it. Hello? 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 Sounds like somebody snoring on the other end. Maybe there's a bee in it. Maybe there's a bee in it. Get out of there, bee. Fight. Come on, get out of there. I'm making think I'm a bee. Come on, get out of there. I'm going to get you out of there before that man comes back. Boy, he'll be proud of me. Now, let's see. Where's the screwdriver and his hammer? I'm going to take this thing apart here. Get out of there, will you, bee? Come on, fight, get out of there. Boy, it's putting up a great fight, ain't it? I got to eat more Wheaties. I got to... Hello? Well, the button stopped anyhow.
Well, kid, everything's shipshape, as we say in the Navy.
I think it's snafu, as we say in the Cub Scouts.
What's going on in here? Good heavens, what's that mess on the floor?
I'll give you 3 guesses.
The telephone!
Give that lady a box of Milky Way.
Now you're going to get...
No.
Oh, you hit me. I'd love to spank him, too.
Sorry, line is busy.
Remember, we'll all be back in the next Tuesday at the same time. That's Skelton, David Forster, and his orchestra, Anita Ellis, Verna Felton, Kiki Pearson, and yours truly, Rod O'Connor. Till next Tuesday, then.
This is Red Skelton saying goodbye now, and thanks for listening. Last week was Brotherhood Week. Why not make every week?
Brown and Williamson invite you to other good listening throughout the week. Hear The Raleigh Room starring Hildegard tomorrow night, and People Are Funny with Art Linkletter Friday night. And return with Red Skelton next Tuesday. Red Skelton is heard in this program through the courtesy of Metro Golden Mare.
Sir Walter Raleigh. That's the smoking tobacco superior on all counts.
Blended from the finest, rich, ripe, burley tobaccos.
Sir Walter Raleigh.
Mellowed with just a touch of rum to bring out a richer, fuller, more mellow flavor.
Sir Walter Raleigh.
Smokes all the way down to the bottom of the bowl. Never leaves a soggy heel in your pipe. Just a clean, dry ash.
Yes, gentlemen, it all adds up to Sir Walter Raleigh. Next time, try Sir Walter Raleigh, the quality pipe tobacco of America.
Red Skelton is brought to you by the Brown and Williamson Tobacco Company.
This is NBC, the National Broadcasting Company.
Well, sir, the noonday meal is almost over as we join our friends at the small house halfway up in the next block now. And here in the kitchen we find Mr. Victor Gook and young Mr. Rush Gook briskly attacking dessert. Mrs. Victor Gook, however, quitted the table a moment ago in response to the telephone's alarm. And we hear her say,
Ruthie, it completely slipped my mind. Completely slipped my mind. Yes. Sure. Well, I'm glad you remembered, lady. Vic and Rush are still here, and I can get the information from them before they have to go back to school in the office. Like I told you last week, Vic was brought up on a farm and can provide the information in 2 seconds. All right, Ruthie. Sure. Suppose I come past for you about 1:45 or kind of halfway in around through there. Yeah. All right, lady. You bet. Goodbye.
I demand to know the
Willie,
mysterious
trot in the living room
conversation.
and get a sheet of paper and pencil out of the library table drawer. Finished your dessert?
Got a couple of bites left.
Well, run along. You can eat them when you get back.
Hmm.
I'm the most forgetful ninny in town. Promised 5 separate ladies I'd dig up some information for them they need at thimble meeting this afternoon, and let it completely slip my mind.
What kind of information?
Wildflowers. You'll have to help me.
You want your good stationery, Mom?
No, any old piece of scratch paper will do. And a pencil.
Okay.
You know all about wildflowers, don't you?
Uh-uh.
Oh, you do so. Raised on a farm.
I was raised on a farm, but my horticultural education...
Well, you certainly give me half a dozen names of wildflowers, can't you?
I might possibly perform that feat.
Sure. Here's the way it is. At the last thimble meeting, the chairman, Ms. Apparat, told us we'd have to answer to roll call this week by giving the name of a wildflower and some interesting fact about it.
Mighty sweet idea.
And I have to accumulate this information for 5 separate ladies. Well, it was 6, counting myself.
I ripped a page out of my algebra notebook.
All right, thanks. Give it here. What's the name of a wildflower?
Dandelion.
Oh, lands, everybody knows dandelion.
Bluebell.
Oh, can't you think of some good ones?
Well, bluebell is good. As pretty a posy as you'd want to see.
I mean something unusual. I had the notion you brought up in the country that way. You'd have 100 wildflowers on the tip of your tongue.
I worked when I was a boy. I didn't trip over the meadows gathering blossoms. I got up at 5 o'clock in the morning and milked cows and watered horses.
Yeah, I
and fed
know,
them.
but same time seems to me you'd recall 1,000 wildflowers.
Well, maybe I do. Let me ponder a second.
I put down bluebell. What's an interesting fact about bluebells?
Their color.
What about their color?
It's blue.
Oh, my.
Well, heck, let a guy think a minute. I could probably recollect a trash basket full of dope if you'll give me time.
Some farm boy.
What's the trouble, Ma?
Well, I need the names of wildflowers for a thimble club meeting this afternoon.
Why?
Oh, new stunt of Miss Apparat's. At roll call, instead of answering off Miss Cook and Miss Thembottom, the ladies are supposed to give a wildflower and some interesting fact about it. You know any wildflowers?
I expect I could think of a few. Do you have to provide them for all the ladies?
Have to provide them for 5. Well, thought of something?
Chrysanthemum.
Oh, chrysanthemum. Since when was chrysanthemums wild?
I don't know.
You sure must have been some wide-awake farm boy.
Oh, why do you have to dig up information for everybody?
Oh, I guess I stuck my neck out. I had the idea my husband, that had been brought up in the country, could name off names of wildflowers fast as he could talk.
No, but why do you
Well,
have
when
to...
Thimble let out last week, I walked partway home with Ruthie and Miss Carmelson and Miss Welch. They said they didn't know any more about wildflowers than a person could shake a stick at. I told them I'd help them out. And pretty quick, Miss Kreider and Miss Oliver caught up with us, and they were up a stump about wildflowers. I said I'd get their information for them.
Huh?
And then I proceeded to promptly forget the whole business. Puts me in a pickle if you can't help. I've had all week to go down to the public library, and here's the afternoon of thimble meeting, and I haven't got a thing.
You've got bluebell.
Oh, bluebell. Well, I thought you'd know a bunch of dandies.
Oh, maybe I do. Let me think.
Sweet Williams, Ma. Sweet Williams are wildflowers, ain't they?
Sweet Williams? Sure.
I remember seeing
What's
Sweet
an
Williams.
interesting fact about them?
I don't know.
Tulips, kiddo.
Are tulips wildflowers?
Far as I know they are.
You must have been a regular leatherhead when you were on the farm.
I was a bright, alert,
Sunflowers,
hard-working...
Ma. Well, they're wild.
Well, they're wild, but they're common. Anybody can think of sunflowers and dandelions and daisies. I told the ladies I'd provide them with fancy names. Fancy names and unusual facts. And your father gives me chrysanthemums and tulips.
Irises.
Irises.
Is this the way it goes, ma'am? Miss Apparat calls off Miss Gook, and you're supposed to holler out Sweet Williams?
Supposed to holler out Sweet Williams and go ahead and speak some little piece about Sweet Williams. Sweet Williams grow someplace or other, and are widely known for this, that, and another thing.
Rotten splotches.
What?
Wildflowers. Rotten splotches. They grow on the banks of creeks. We had a whole patch of rotten splotches on our farm. They're kind of a nasty yellow with dirty streaks on them.
Ish.
Rotten splotches is a good, legitimate wildflower. I can
Do you
prove
think I'd give that to any of the ladies to say, rotten splotches, a nasty yellow flower with dirty streaks on it?
Well, heck, I'm doing the best I can.
Telephone's ringing.
It's probably Ruthie again.
Might be Leland Richards. He said he had something of a trivial nature to discuss.
I'll
with me.
answer. Hello? Oh, yes, Miss Carmelson. Why, yes, I am, Miss Carmelson. I promised Miss Stembottom I'd stop by for her. Uh-huh. Oh, the wildflowers? Yes, yours is Sweet William. Yes, Sweet William. What's an interesting fact, Vic?
I'm afraid I
Rush?
wouldn't have the slightest...
Sweet Williams were discovered by Balboa when he explored the Pacific coast.
Who?
Balboa.
Excuse me, Miss Carmelson. Had to ask my son a question. Yeah. Sweet Williams were discovered by Balboa when he explored the Pacific coast. Balboa. Can you remember that? Uh-huh. All right. Oh, not at all. Well, see you at Thimble Club later on. Yes, indeed. All right, Miss Carmelson. Bye.
Well, you got one of your ladies fixed up.
Hush, was that true about Sweet Williams?
True?
Yes.
Could be true.
You don't know it's true, though, huh?
No, I don't know it's true. But it's got to be partly true. Balboa must have seen plenty of Sweet Williams.
How did it?
Carnations.
Carnations or wildflowers?
Seems to me I heard somewhere that carnations were...
Hello. Oh, yes, Miss Oliver. Sure I have. You bet. What's another?
Killycnicks.
Killyconnects?
Yeah.
Killyconnects, Miss Oliver. Yeah, that's your wildflower. Interesting fact.
Killycnicks were used by the Comanche Indians to tell the time of day.
They were used by the Comanche Indians to tell the time of day. Yeah. Oh, not at all, Miss Oliver. Not at all. See you this afternoon? All right. All right, Miss Oliver. Goodbye.
Another lady accommodated.
What are killyconnects?
Marbles. They're generally used for shooters, and they're made out of some kind of funny stone. Kids call them killycnicks.
Where'd you get that about the Comanche Indians?
We're reading about Comanche Indians in English class.
Both Miss Carmelson and Miss Oliver will call out stuff at Thimble meeting that ain't true.
Nobody will check up on them, though. If you take the average American citizen, he wouldn't bother to go to the
I need
trouble.
4 more wildflowers and interesting facts.
Heliotrope.
You needn't exert yourself giving any more suggestions, Vic. Rush, I'm going to use sunflower after all. What's an interesting fact?
Sunflowers were once used as food.
Is that true?
No.
Once used as food.
Sweet peas.
What's an interesting fact about daisies?
Daisies keep secrets. There's an old saying, daisies won't tell.
That's true.
Sure.
I'll give it to Ruthie. How about bluebells?
They're blue.
How about bluebells, Rush?
Bluebells were once held sacred by the Blackfoot tribe of Redskins.
Kiddo, seems to me orchids are wildflowers.
The dandelions?
Want an interesting fact for dandelions?
Yeah.
There's an old tradition that if you hold a dandelion under somebody's chin and it makes the skin look yellow, it shows they like butter.
That's true.
I don't know whether it's true or not, but you take young kids.
Well, I mean, it's true people say that.
Yeah.
Well, makes my 6. Sweet Williams, that funny name.
Killycnicks.
Sunflowers, daisies, bluebells, and dandelions.
Uh-huh. 6.
Certainly made a botch of this. Making ladies call out trash that ain't even true.
I wouldn't worry, Ma. You'll never get caught.
Kiddo.
What?
Poinsettias.
You're some farm boy, you are.
Ain't poinsettias wildflowers?
Some wonderful farm boy.
Which concludes another brief interlude at the small house halfway up in the next block.
A special rebroadcast for the American Armed Forces and their allies. You're invited to drop in where the elite meet to eat. Duffy's Tavern.
Hello, Duffy's, where the elite meet to eat. Archie the manager speaking. Duffy ain't here. Hello, Duffy. Huh? The crowd here? It's a pretty horrible-looking ensemble. Huh? Yeah, I think Eddie must have stood out in the gutter and swept in. Well, you know who's coming here tonight, Duffy? Dinah Shore. Yeah, the female chanteuse. Huh? What? Well, I can say is if Crosby had a shape like that, he wouldn't have to worry about Sinatra. Huh? No, she ain't a soprano. She's a sort of a mezzo barracuda. Yeah, down in Nashville, down in the South, you know, where she comes from, they call her the mezzo belle. No, Duffy, not matzo ball. Oh, mezzo belle. Yeah, she's gonna sing a song that I'm writing. I call it, Leave Us Face It, We're in Love. Hello? He hung up. Eddie,
Yes, Mr. Austin.
I gotta finish this song of mine. Now, what's the word for when two people's in love, you know, and then they die, and then they're in love again in another life, and then they die, and then they're in love again?
Same two people?
Yeah.
Monotony.
Oh, Eddie, wait a minute. It's on the tip of my tongue. Reincarcerated. Yeah, that's it. Now, Eddie, what rhymes with eyes?
Eyes? You mean like eyes of blue or eyes of Augustus?
No, regular eyes. You know, the optional ones.
Oh, eyes. Eyes. Flies, spies, dies, prize, guys, sighs, skies, buys.
Eddie, if it was as easy as that, you'd be a songwriter, too.
You a songwriter.
Oh, yeah? Well, wait till you hear Dinah Shore sing me song. Then I'll get Bing Crosby to plug it, and Kate Smith, Fred Allen. No, not him. No. Frank Sinatra, Ginny Simms, Dennis Day.
Eddie Green.
Eddie Green. You'll plug it?
Sure. By that time, I'll be singing at the Metropolitan Opera House. And them big shots ain't gonna ruin their program singing your song.
They ain't, huh? What'll you bet?
I'll bet you a week's tip.
Okay, it's a bet.
Okay. Here's my dime. Where's yours?
All right, here's mine. Now, we'll plug this song, and I'll start with Dinah Shore.
Maybe your start, but it'll be her finish. How you going to be able to get her to do it?
Very simply, Eddie. Personal magnetism. I just say, Dinah, lift your lovely voice in song while I put my arms around you and kiss you and caress you.
Oh, well, if you're going to threaten her.
Look, Eddie, stop trying to re-welch on me. Now, let's finish the song. Let's see. What rhymes with pork? Oh, hiya, Finnegan.
Yeah, what you doing?
I'm writing a song.
Writing a song? Anything I know?
No, Finnegan, this is an original song. It has never been wrote before.
That's pretty dumb. Writing a song that nobody knows. As long as you're writing a song, why don't you write an old favorite? Like Chloe.
But Finnegan, if it's an old favorite, it means that somebody has already wrote it.
Then write an old favorite that nobody wrote yet. So what's the name of your song?
I call it Leave Us Face It, We're in Love.
Oh, who's in love?
Me and Dinah Shore.
That's your bum title. I got a better one. Dinah, is there anyone finer in the state of Carolina?
But Finnegan, that's owned by another songwriter.
Then change Carolina to Oklahoma.
But Oklahoma don't rhyme with Dinah.
Then make it Margie.
Archie.
Oh, yes, Miss Duffy.
Do you think that Dinah Shore sings better than me?
Miss Duffy, she sings better than you with both vocal cords tied behind her back.
If you think Dinah sings better than me, why don't you go to work for her father?
Her father ain't got a Dinah. Now, please, Miss Duffy, leave me alone, will you?
Mr. Austin.
What's the matter, Eddie?
No, something terrible has happened.
What?
Somebody won on the pinball machine.
Holy cat, who was it?
Mr. Moriarty.
What was the score?
4,003,750,000.
Did the blue lights go on?
Yeah.
The red lights?
Yeah.
The bell ring?
Yeah.
American flag come out?
Yeah.
Looks like he made it, all right.
Look here. What do we do?
Well, what else can we do? I'll go over and pay him his nickel. Yeah, better go and check up on that machine. You know, it's the second time it's been hit this year. I'll be right back, Eddie.
Yeah.
Eddie, what do you think of Dinah Shore singing?
Mighty fine.
What do you think of my singing?
Mighty fine.
Well, who do you think is better?
Mighty fine.
The first one was right. Leave our space,
Miss Archer, there's a lady over there looking for a package.
Where? Eddie, that ain't no lady. That's Joan Davis. Miss Davis, I understand you're looking for a package?
Well, yes, I am. Say, you're pretty cute. Blue eyes, curly hair, and where'd you get them muscles?
Where did you get yours?
I asked you first.
About this package.
Oh, yes, it's very important.
Oh, what's in it?
I don't know.
Who gave it to you?
I'm not sure.
Well, what does it look like?
I don't know.
Now we're really getting somewhere. You are sure that it is a package?
Oh, yes, it's a very important package.
Well, why is it important?
I don't know.
I bet you I know what's in the package.
What?
A straitjacket.
Oh, no, I got one of those.
Oh, well, wear it in good health.
Well, thank you. Say, by the way, what are you doing later? How would you like to take me home?
I thought you came here looking for a package.
Well, I haven't found it yet, and why should I go home empty-handed?
Well, Miss Davis, exclude me out. I ain't no package.
Well, you could be if you were tied together better.
Hi, Arch. Who's your cute face? Hey, lady, you're pretty.
Brother, you're crazy.
Yeah, could be.
Okay, Miss Davis, we'll look for your package now. In the meantime, why don't you go in that booth over there and sit down, huh?
Well, I don't want to sit all alone.
What do you mean all alone? There's 7 sailors in that booth.
For me, that's alone.
Why don't you come back tomorrow and look for this package, huh?
Oh, I can't tomorrow. I'm looking for it on Eddie Cantor's program.
Oh, well, then there's only one other way out.
What's that?
The back door. Come on, Davis. Right back, Eddie.
Boy, this place is so full of radio stars. The dawn is really jumping tonight.
What do you mean, Eddie?
Well, there goes Davis through the old back door, and in through the front comes Dinah Shore.
Dinah Shore. Welcome to Duffy's, Miss Shore.
Thank you, but it's Mrs. Montgomery, if you please.
Oh, yeah, you just got married.
Uh-huh.
Likewise, I hope. I'll be back in a minute, Dinah. And guess what? He don't know you're married.
Well, that's funny. It was in most of the papers.
Was it printed in the racing results?
Who do you think I married, Bing Crosby?
Anyways, tell me, Dinah, does it bother you being married to a movie actor?
What do you mean?
Well, being a movie actor, your husband has kissed so many other women before you.
Miss Duffy, maneuvers have never spoiled a battle. Miss Duffy, have you ever thought about getting married?
Ever since the age of 9. Not that I haven't had chances. Oh, goodness. The brilliant, talented men I could have had. Battleship painters. Vacuum cleaner salesmen. Wealthy sandhogs. But I just couldn't give up my career.
What is your career?
I sing.
Oh. Well, it was very courageous of you to give up all those men for your singing.
They insisted on it. You see, my singing teacher...
Oh, who is your singing teacher?
Yasha Panyaslavnik.
Gesundheit.
Thank you.
Oh, hello, Archie.
Well, Dinah, glad to see you again. What's new?
New? Well, I've got myself a new roommate.
Oh, that's fine. Nice?
Lovely.
Oh, fine. Nice. The girl has a nice roommate, you know. Wearing each other's clothes. Taking turns making the beds. Going Dutch on the rent.
Smoking each other's pipes.
Must be very good tobacco. You ain't looked lovelier in a long time. Well, Dinah, enough of this shop talk. How's about rendering us with a number?
Okay, Arch, I'll render you with No Love, No Nothing. It's one of the big current hits.
Oh, yeah? Well, there may be another one out soon that's even current hit.
Oh?
I'll talk to you about it later. Paul, wake up the Philharmonica for Dinah, huh?
No, nothing till my baby comes home. No, sir, no, nothing long as baby must roam. I promised him I'd wait for him till even Hades grows. I'm lonesome, heaven knows, but what I said still goes. No love, no nothing, that's a promise I keep. No fun with no one, getting plenty of sleep. My heart's on strike, and though it's like an empty honeycomb, no love, no sun, no nothing till my baby comes home. No love, no nothing, that's a promise I'll keep. No fun with no one, getting plenty of sleep. My heart's on strike, and though it's like an empty honeycomb, no love, no sun, no nothing till my baby comes home.
Really wonderful, you know?
Thank you.
You was on key all the way. You sang that in B clef octave, didn't you? B clef octave. You know, 2 quarter notes with the umlaut. You see, my song, on the other hand, is written in...
Your song?
You seem astounded. Of course, my song.
Well, I had no idea you were so musical, Archie.
Musical? Mercy me. I played the piano when I was 3 years old.
3 years old?
It was a little piano. What they call a pianissimo.
So you were a child progeny, huh?
Yeah. And it was a curse, you know. Day after day, my father used to say to me, Archie, why don't you go out and play baseball with the other boys, you know? And I'd say, no, Dad, I have to go upstairs and practice my chamber music. Yep, day and night I practiced until finally they sent me to the observatory.
Archie, which keeper did you study under?
They call them maestros. Very conservatory observatory. Anyways, that's where I studied the old masters, you know. I loved them. Chachakovich. And Debussy, Puccini, Bach, Tchaikovsky.
Archie, that's Tchaikovsky.
Oh, I mispronounced one of them. Yeah, and that, Dinah, is the background that produced this.
Oh, is this the song? Let's see. Leave us, face it, we're in love. Lyrics, words, and melody by Archie. You wrote the words, too?
Well, the words is easy. All you got to do is make them rhyme, you know. It's a knack. Say something, anything.
Radiator.
Hot tomato.
You're fantastic.
Jester. Go ahead, hit me again.
Sweet Lalani.
Hot pastrami.
Georgia peaches.
Donna Meeches. You see? Got Dinah over there in the corner looking over me song.
Well, I suppose she don't like it.
If she don't like it, then, like I said before, I'll call on me personal magnetism.
This Miss Shaw, maybe she's married or something.
Don't be silly. How can she be married? I ain't even asked her yet. You leave me handle it, Eddie. Oh, Dinah.
Oh, yes, Archie.
Dinah, did you look over the song?
Yes.
You're carried away with emotion, huh?
Yes, the kind of emotion I feel on the ocean.
Well, okay. Dinah, dear, look at me.
Personal magnetism coming up on the outside.
Look, Dinah, don't sing this song for just plain Archie, but for the Archie whose feet you have swept off. Look, Dinah, here you are living alone with your roommate. An empty life. While with me,
Just a second, Archie. Is this a proposal?
It could be construed.
My roommate would pin back your ears.
Listen, the dame don't live that I can't lick. Come on, Dinah, sing it, huh?
Archie, I'm afraid I don't know it. Archie, I can't sing it. You see, it's not in the...
Don't sing it then. We'll just have the band play it, and you just accompany the band. Paul, trumpets, please. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, Miss Dinah Shaw will now sing me own original composition, Leave Us Face It, We're in Love.
I stand in good old Duffy, where the elite meet the east. Me red corpuscles racing, I await for you, my sweet. In my hand is a diamond unfurled. We should holler it out to the world. Leave us no longer pretend that you are merely a friend, for it is wrote in the stars above. So we have tried to act cold, suddenly low, and get home. Leave us faces, we're in love. Leave us not blush with no shame if people bandage our name. Shoes and old rights are worth dreaming of. Stories like in our two eyes could win the Pooh-Filler prize. Leave us faces, we're in love. Somehow I know many ages ago in an old French chateau we was mated. Now thine love is mine, just as mine love for thine has been reincarcerated. So I plight my troth at your feet. Don't leave me life incomplete. I'm like a turtle without a gun. Love light ain't made to be hid. No carriage forbid. Leave us faces. We're in love.
Well, Dinah, what do you think? Look, why don't you take it over? Take it home and show it to your roommate.
He won't like it.
You mean,
Archie, I am Mrs. George Montgomery.
How do you do, Mrs. Montgomery? Excuse me. Hello? The package? Oh, hello, Joan. Listen, Joan, how would you like to sing a song of mine? What? What am I doing Wednesday night? Nothing. Brother, what you got to do to get a song plugged? How does it go? Well, it's... leave us no longer pretend. I better whistle it.
before we leave Duffy's, leave us put a couple of nickels in Duffy's jukebox. The plat is spinning. The needle comes down. It's music.
If you want to, you can rhyme it with bazooka. But you can't poo-poo Paducah. That's another name for paradise. Paducah, just a funny little city in Kentucky. But to me it rhymes with lucky when I'm looking into two blue eyes. Tulip time, they get excited over tulip time. And I'm delighted over tulip time because I happen to love a resident of Paducah. If you wanna, you can rhyme it with bazooka, but you can't prove Paducah. That's another name for paradise.
This broadcast is a presentation of the Armed Forces Radio Service.
laughed with him when he played the Marine in the movie Wake Island. And soon you'll see him with Alan Ladd and Brian Donlevy in 2 Years Before the Mask. He's Hollywood's magnificent mug.
I came up the hard way. When I was 6 years old, the doctor discovered I had an extremely high IQ. But luckily, I grew out of it.
The American Meat Institute presents William Bendix in The Life of Riley. The meat people of America, providing a great food for a great nation. If all the areas of these United States devoted largely to pasture and grazing lands for raising your annual meat supply were put together, you could drop 20 states the size of New York on it and still have room to spare. Yes, sir, we're a nation of meat eaters, America. And now, on behalf of all those engaged in supplying meat to the nation, the American Meat Institute presents The Life of Riley. Right now, Riley and his friend Jim Gillis are talking about the big football game of the season, which to them means the battle between the Green Goats of the John J. Boskowitz Junior High School and the Maroon Maulers of Mazeppa Junior High. Listen to the enlightening debate.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Listen, Riley, I'm telling you, like a friend, them Boskowitz Green Goats ain't got a chance against the Mazeppa Maulers.
Yeah, who says so?
My boy Elmer says so. You ought to know. He's captain of the Mazeppas.
The trouble with you, Gillis, is you're prejudiced. Family loyalty's okay, but just because your boy's on a team, that don't mean the team is going to win.
Maybe so, Riley. But what makes you so sure the Green Goats is going to win?
Because my boy is on the Green Goats. And he ain't just a beefy fullback like your Elmer. Junior's quarterback on the Goats. They call him Spark Plug Riley.
I heard his spark plugs is full of carbon, too.
Well, not my boy. Junior's been giving his team some trick plays that are absolutely impossible.
He don't need no play. They just take the ball and walk down the field with it, brushing off them Green Goats like flies.
Yeah. You want to bet? I'll bet you $1 million that the Green Goats win.
How much?
$2.
Riley, I wouldn't take your money on a sure thing. Put up your dough.
It ain't right to bet on school sports, or I would.
Come on. Let's see the color of your money.
You can take my word for it. It's green. But it ain't clean football when you bet money on it.
Backing down, huh? Well, I don't blame you.
I ain't backing down. But instead of betting cash, I'll bet you a trip to the Bijou movie theater that my boy's team wins.
Let's make it interesting, Riley. I see you that trip to the movies and raise you a dinner.
Okay, we'll have dinner at Luigi's Spaghetti Heaven and Meatball Mardi Gras. Gillis, I see you at the movies and the dinner, and I'm throwing in our wives.
It's a bet. They go too.
In a taxi.
I see the taxi and raise you flowers for the ladies.
And a new hat for me to be wearing.
I'll be wearing the new hat. Okay, you're on, Riley.
Okay. And the loser pays off right after the game. Movies, dinner, flowers, taxi, and a new hat for the winner.
Right.
Loser pays off. And Gillis, when I say loser, I do mean you. So, Peg, I foxed Gillis into a deal where he's taking us out for a big evening. Free, gratis, and for nothing.
Well, that's fine, Riley, but how do you know this will all be on Gillis?
Oh, that's very simple. With them trick plays of Junior's, this team can't lose.
I'm not so sure. Junior's been acting kind of gloomy tonight.
Oh, athletes always get worried. Where is he?
In the next room, at the desk.
Well, I'll go in and give him a little pep talk.
A plus B. Oh, hello, Pop.
Hello, Junior.
A plus B over C minus D equals X.
Hey, that's a real tricky little play you got on paper there.
Yeah, it's tricky, all right.
Only if I was you, I wouldn't send X through the center of the line between A and B. I'd make C throw a forward pass.
This ain't football, Pop. It's algebra.
Algebra? Junior, stop straining your brain with that stuff. You ought to be in bed resting your skull for practice tomorrow.
I can't help it, Pop. I gotta hand this algebra in to Miss Jessup tomorrow. Then if I don't, she'll keep me after school, and then I can't practice.
You gotta practice. How many algebra examples she give you to do?
50.
50? Where's that teacher's school spirit? How long you been at that algebra tonight?
Half an hour.
How many out of the 50 you got left to do?
50.
That's sabotage. If it takes you a half hour to do one, it takes 2 half hours in an hour. It'll take you 100 hours to do 50. That algebra teacher ought to take arithmetic. Don't you know you can't get done tonight?
I gotta get it done tonight.
I'm going to phone her right now.
Oh, no, Pop. You better not.
Why not? She can't bluff me. I like to hear how she thinks a football player can do 50 algebras a night and still make any first downs.
Well, Pop, she didn't exactly just give me this algebra to do all tonight.
Well, you said it had to be all in by tomorrow.
Yeah, but she kind of handed it out the first of the month. I kind of forgot it until tonight.
Junior, leave this be a lesson to you. Don't put off till tomorrow what you should have done last month.
Oh, yeah, but...
Junior, look, I work at a war plant. If I didn't do my job right last month, putting in every rivet I was supposed to, you know what would be happening today? American pilots would be flying over Germany without planes.
Oh, yeah, but Pop...
Look at you. Stuck with 50 problems and no practice. And me with a bet on your team.
It's wrong to bet, Pop.
Don't change the subject. I had a better backwater in front of Jim Gillis. Now your team's got to win or I'll get the ha-ha. Come on, get busy on that algebra and hand it in tomorrow so as you can practice.
Oh, gosh, Pop, you just proved it couldn't be done by tonight.
Oh, certainly it can be done. All you got to do is do it faster.
Okay, but I won't be any good at practice tomorrow. And if the quarterback's no good, the team goes to pieces.
Yeah. And if the team goes to pieces, they lose the game. And I got another mouth to feed. Jim Gillis and his wife, too.
You have to buy him dinner?
Yeah. And can they eat? If you leave an arm on a table, Gillis starts putting ketchup on it. And... Junior, my head is made up. Give me that algebra book.
What are you going to do, Pop?
I'm going to do this homework, and you're going to bed.
Oh, gosh, thanks, Pop, but can you do algebra?
Can I do algebra? I'll breeze through them 50 problems like nothing.
It's 3 o'clock in the morning. Aren't you through with that algebra yet?
Well, no, not quite. I had 50 problems to do, but I'm in the home stretch.
How many have you left to do?
45.
Oh, Riley. You only did 5 in 6 hours? Oh, is it very hard?
Well, you know, in algebra, they ring in a lot of letters on you. I get along okay with A, B, C, and Y, Z, but they keep asking me to find X.
What do they do with X when they find it? I sort of forgot.
Well, I don't know, but they think they gotta have it then. It's tough to find X because it's what they call an unknown quantity. How am I going to find something when a guy that wrote the book admits he don't even know what it is?
But that's what algebra teaches, dear. How to discover something you don't know.
Yeah. Well, ever since I was in school, they've been looking for X. If they ain't found it in all this time, I don't know how they expect me to get it in one night.
Oh, maybe you better get your sleep, Riley.
No, nothing doing. I'm no quitter. I'm doing this stuff if it takes me all night. And Junior's turning it in the morning so as he can practice and win that game. What time did you say it was, Peg?
3:05.
I'll bet that money-mad Gillis is sleeping like a log.
Junior. Don't forget practice today, right after.
Okay.
Secret signals and trick plays. Tell the team. Gosh, listen, Junior. I don't know if I can get to practice. I'm afraid Miss Jessup is going to keep me in on account I haven't got my algebra. Stop it. You should have done your homework. Oh, yeah? I suppose you got yours done. Sure, I got them all done. You want to see them? Okay. Look in my book. Well, I'll be a monkey's uncle. Hey, Walleyes, look at Riley's got all his algebra done. Now you done it, Stumpy. They're all gonna copy my answers. So what? You don't want one of your own team kept that after school, do you? Oh, no, but...
Yeah, Riley, nice work. Come on, guys. Let's get Riley's answers down fast. And we all get to practice today.
Come on, guys. Wait, fellas. I ain't giving the whole school my answers. Of course not. We'll keep them private.
Yeah. Just between us 11 guys and the team. You home from work?
Oh, Ma, you look tired.
Oh, what a day I had. I had to work with one hand. I used the other to prop open my eyes.
No wonder, after being up all night doing Junior's homework.
I got it done, didn't I? All 50 answers, neat and good. Gillis kept asking me what was I so sleepy for. Did I burn him up?
Oh, how?
I told him I dreamed I won the bet, and when he was paying off with dinner, I ate so much fancy food it gave me a nightmare. Boy, I got that Gillis worried. I hope I can keep awake until it's time to go to sleep.
Well, why don't you take a nap before dinner?
No, I guess I will. But wake me up as soon as Junior gets home from practice.
Well, he is home.
Huh?
Uh-huh.
Couldn't have been a very long practice. Hey, Junior, what goes? Why ain't you practicing?
A plus B over Y minus C equals X.
Junior, this is where I came in yesterday. Is that algebra again?
Oh, yeah, Pop. Some more of that Miss Jessup's work.
Junior, did she give you more algebra after you handed in them 50 examples I did last night?
Oh, yes, sir. I handed in my answers, and then the rest of the team handed in their answers, and we was all set to go to practice, and all of a sudden that Miss Jessup says, by an odd coincidence, I find that 11 boys in this class all have the same answers.
So what? 11 boys all know their stuff.
And then she says, by an odd coincidence, these 11 boys are all on the football team.
Oh, is that so? I suppose with her it's a crime to play football, huh?
And then she says, and by an odd coincidence, these 11 boys are the same 11 boys who are getting 50 more problems to do tonight.
What? She can't do that to me.
So we all had to come home and do algebra instead of practicing.
No practice. After me working all night.
And if we don't have the new 50 done by tomorrow, she says we can't play the game at all. We'll be ineligible.
I've heard enough. That Miss Jessup is a spy from Mazeppa High. She's working for the wrong school. She must have half of Gillis's bet. This is a frame-up.
Oh, gosh, where are you going, Pa?
I'm going to see that Mrs. Jessup and give her some pieces on my mind. I'll give her algebra. Mrs. Jessup, I'll tell her, if A for algebra equals B, we get beat in that game tomorrow, then X is going to be the unknown place where you'll be looking for a new job.
In a moment, we'll see what happens when Riley locks horns with Junior's algebra teacher. But right now, this is Ken Niles, O.M., orator for meat. Well, the other evening at rehearsal, two of our girls in the cast, during a breathing spell, were talking over the home food situation. I came up just in time to hear this one. If you're a bridge player, you'll get it. You know, one of them said, I believe it was Peg, when in doubt, lead hamburger. Well, that lead wins the trick every time as far as I'm concerned. Because look what you get in hamburger. All meat, sizzling, glistening brown, easy carving, not a bone in a carload. A homey flavor that rings the bell any place, any time. Remember, in buying meat these days, you may not always get the kind and cut you want because large shipments of meat are going to our fighters and our fighting allies all over the world. But your meat man usually has that good, tender, easy cooking, easy eating hamburger. You like it. Junior likes it. Dad likes it. I like it. William Bendix likes it. Lou Kozloff is a hamburger fiend. So, help yourself to hamburger, and along with highest quality eating, get proteins of highest quality, the kind all meat is noted for. Meat, you know, is a yardstick of protein foods because meat measures up to every protein need. And now back to The Life of Riley with William Bendix as Riley. We left Riley on his way to see Junior's algebra teacher and deliver a lecture on the evils of homework for football players, especially when the father of one of the players stands to lose a bet and eat crow if the team loses tomorrow's big game. As we rejoin Riley now, he is tapping a bit nervously at the door of Miss Jessup's apartment.
Yes? Good evening, teacher. Miss Jessup. Junior Riley is my father. His father. I mean, I am.
Oh, well, do come in, Mr. Riley. I'm always glad to meet the parents of my pupils. I hope you'll excuse all these papers on the floor. I'm doing some homework.
Homework? Who makes you do homework? The principal?
Well, it's my job, Mr. Riley. I have to correct and grade all the homework done for the class. But sit down, do.
Oh, good, thanks. Miss Jessup, I'm here to say something about Junior's homework.
That's very thoughtful of you. It could be improved.
No, doubtless you are very correct, Miss Jessup. But on the other hand, how about football? And what's with all this algebra? You can't put algebra up on the scoreboard against them Mazeppas tomorrow.
Perhaps not, Mr. Riley. Nor can I put a home run on a student's report card.
Home run? Miss Jessup, don't you know nothing about football?
Very little, I confess. I went to a girls' college several years ago. To me, football is a superfluous adjunct to the curriculum. After all, what is football?
What is curriculum?
I am not averse to helpful exercise, but in the larger game of life, Mr. Riley, algebra is more important than any sport.
Who to?
Pardon me?
I say who to is the more important to. You know, you never see no algebra scores in the newspapers, do you?
No, but no.
You never heard no big cheering section in the grandstand yelling, "Block that unknown quantity."
I've never heard a cheering section yelling anything.
Miss Jessup, are you kidding? You never saw a football game?
No, Mr. Riley, I'm not kidding.
Miss Jessup, you've been going to school too much. I'm taking you personally to that game tomorrow. May I?
Why, I'd love to go.
Oh, that's swell. Now, listen, you want to see a good game, don't you? You want to see your school win, huh?
I would not be averse to a favorable decision if the boys play at all.
Play at all? They gotta play. It's the big game. You ain't gonna stick to that fantastic idea of them handing in 50 algebras tomorrow, are you?
I most certainly am.
Oh, have a heart, Miss Jessup. Look, them boys give you 50 algebras today, and you sock them 50 more.
Yes, Mr. Riley. By an odd coincidence, 11 boys with the same set of answers.
So what? Look, there's only one right answer to any one of them gimmicks, am I right?
Certainly.
Okay, now I got you. Everybody that gets the right answer gets the same answer. What's so funny with them 11 being right?
Nothing. That would be fine. But they all had the same answers, and every answer was wrong.
Wrong? My answers, Junior's answers were all wrong?
They were?
What a revolting development this is. Were the answers very wrong?
Fantastically wrong. You see, Mr. Riley, it was obvious that all the boys had copied their answers from one boy, who, I'm afraid, is not on par mentally with the average 13-year-old child.
He ain't, huh?
I pity his poor parents.
Yeah, especially his father.
I had no choice but to discipline them.
But that team's got to play tomorrow. Listen, why take it out on all of them? Why don't you just punish the boy that gave them all the wrong answers?
Well, I could do that if the boy would confess.
You would?
Yes, because then I could talk to that boy and make him promise to stop spreading ignorance among my pupils.
Okay. The team's got to play, so if you promise just to punish him and let the rest of them play, I'll tell you what boy got the wrong answers.
I promised.
Okay. I'm the boy.
Oh, Mr. Riley, a grown man.
Well, not quite. I'm still grown. I did Junior's answers, so they all must have taken his. I mean, mine.
I see.
So now you'll have to let the team play and just punish me. I wear a size 7 and 5/8 dunce cap.
Very well, Mr. Riley. I'll keep my bargain. The team shall play.
Oh, thanks. That's great.
Now, for your punishment, just sign this slip of paper.
Is that all? Oh, sure. Give it here. There you are. It's all signed.
Now, perhaps you'd better read it, now that you've signed it. Mr. Riley, I want you to carry out what you promised on that paper.
Oh, sure. Let's see. I hereby agree to attend all classes assigned to me at adult night school. Hey, nothing doing. Give me back my signature. I can't go to school now. I'm 38. How'll it look? I'll never see my wife.
If you want that team to play, you'll report to my algebra class for beginners tomorrow night.
After 25 years, I'm going back to school. What a long recess. Green and white.
What's that whistle?
Time out.
What's the situation now?
It ain't good.
It isn't good.
You said it. It's rotten. 5 minutes to play, 6-0 in favor of the Mazeppas, and we got the ball on our own 1-yard line.
Well, that isn't so bad. All one of our boys has to do now is take the ball and run 99 yards through the other team. That could be done.
Sure, if he was a tank.
Oh, football is so thrilling. I'm glad you brought me, Mr. Riley. And wasn't it sweet of the team to present me with these flowers?
Oh, they appreciate you letting them play. They might have appreciated me who done their algebras for them. After all, a 10-cent cigar only costs 15 or 20 cents.
But you did the problems wrong.
Well, all right, then. One measly cigarette. They're starting again. Squash them like grapes and pick up the pits. 3 cheers for John J. Bosco.
Mr. Riley, I echo those sentiments.
They're lining up. If Junior don't throw a forward pass now, I'll disown him. He's going. It's a beauty. Duffy's going for it. He's going to fumble.
Oh, I'm so glad.
No, he held it. He's running for a touchdown. He's over. The score is tied.
Get off the brakes and pick up the seeds. 3 cheers for John J. Buster. Oh, it doesn't work out, does it?
Now look. If we can kick a conversion, we get an extra point. We win by 1 point.
Oh, I can't keep the figures in my head.
Miss Jessup, you should give up algebra and take up arithmetic. Take my word for it. If the ball goes over that thing that's out there between the posts, it's our game.
Look, isn't that Junior? About kick?
Yeah, my boy Junior.
Block that kick! Block that kick!
No! Here he goes. I got a son or have I got a son?
Oh, it was very gratifying. Oh, I must see all the games.
Ah, you're okay, Miss Jessup. You're a good sport. And what a sense of humor.
Humor?
Yeah, that gag you pulled on me about going to night school. For a while there, I thought you meant it. What a killer. Well, I'll be seeing you sometime.
Mr. Riley, you'll be seeing me in my class at night school tonight.
You weren't kidding?
I most certainly was not. You'll be there at 9 o'clock.
Yes, teacher.
Well, here I am, Riley. The taxi's outside with the missus, and I'm here to pay off the bet.
Bet? Oh, yeah, Gillis. You're taking us all to the movies and dinner.
Yeah, right. You know, the ghost was covered with horseshoes, but they won, and I'm paying off. Friday, we said, right after the game, huh? Oh, here's your flowers, Mrs. Riley. Come on, Riley, let's go.
You go on, Peg, and take Junior instead of me, huh?
Nah, come on. What's wrong? Oh, listen. Here's your new hat, too, Riley. It's the biggest I could get. Size 7 8/8. Hey, what are you doing with all them books in the book rack?
Oh, I'm getting ready for school.
School? At your age?
Age has got nothing to do with it. It's ignorance that counts. I can't collect my bet tonight because I signed up with Miss Jessup. I got to go to night school. Algebra for beginners.
What do you know? School days, 0
cut it out, Gillis. I ain't no kid. Well, I guess I better go.
Hey, wait a minute. What's that sticking out of your pocket?
Oh, that's an avocado.
What for?
That's for the teacher. I couldn't find an apple.
The Rileys will be right back. You know, Mrs. Niles and I have a theory. You don't need to coax people to eat a good breakfast. Now, take me, for instance. Just put a platter of crisp little pork sausage links in front of my plate at breakfast, or a few slices of golden brown bacon, just long enough for me to get one whiff of that breakfast meat fragrance, and boy, I eat. So I suggest that in order to get folks to eat more of the breakfast they ought to eat, you women add a little more breakfast meat to the breakfast table. And just as a reminder, may I mention that there's a wealth of food energy in those good breakfast meats, as well as the right kind of proteins in every meaty bit of lean. All meat has the right kind of proteins, right to grow on, right to maintain body tissues on. Meat is a yardstick of protein foods because meat measures up to every protein need. And remember, the nutritional statements just made are accepted by the Council on Foods and Nutrition of the American Medical Association.
Hello, Pop. Home from school already?
Yeah.
Riley, what are you doing?
My homework.
Homework?
Yeah. I got 50 problems to do.
Oh, Pop, you go to bed. I can sleep tomorrow. I'll do your homework.
You will? Gosh. Thanks, Junior.
Oh, but Riley, 50 problems the first night?
Well, yeah. You see, the teacher caught me in the coat room smoking.
Next week at the very same time for a lot more laughs when Riley becomes a pilgrim and heads for the woods to shoot a Thanksgiving turkey. The Life of Riley stars William Bendix and is sponsored by the American Meat Institute. William Bendix as Riley appears on this program by arrangement with Hal Roach. The Life of Riley was directed by Don Bernard with music by Lou Kozloff and came to you from Hollywood. This is Ken Niles saying, see you next week. This is the Blue Network.
7:30 KECA, Los Angeles. Transcribed.
To possibly disturb your sleep.
Postum is just whole wheat and bran, skillfully roasted and slightly sweetened. And it has such a tempting aroma, such a rich, full-bodied flavor that you'll want to drink it always. It's easy to make, and anybody can afford Postum because it costs less than 1/2 cent a cup. Get Postum from your grocer tomorrow. Drink it instead of coffee, and then you'll know why it's the favorite mealtime drink in 1 out of every 9 homes in the United States. If coffee's been keeping you awake, see if you don't sleep better and feel better when you drink Postum. And now, let's see what's going on down in Pine Ridge. Well, excitement is still running high in Pine Ridge over the possibilities of finding oil on Abner's property. Squire Skimp, who owns a lease on the ground and is now selling stock in the project, has erected an oil derrick, and it looks as though the actual drilling of the well might start any time. At present, the activities of the Pine Ridge Motion Picture Company are at a standstill, due to the fact that the old fellows discovered last Friday that the camera they recently ordered was for silent pictures only. As we look in on the little community today, we find Lum and Abner down at the Jot and Down store. Listen.
If you don't mind Ocean Tony, Squire give us a good skinning on that oil well.
Skinning?
Well, of course, there ain't no oil over there, and he knows it.
Well, he built that oil derrick right over there in my yard.
Yeah, but I believe he just done that to get everybody excited around here so he could sell a lot of stock in it.
He did, huh?
I was just over there a while ago. Ain't no machinery over there to drill with or nothing else.
Well, he claims he's got some ordered summers long.
I don't believe it. In the first place, that lumber he built that derricks out of ain't stout enough to hold up no machinery. Just a stock selling scheme's all it is. And we was big enough geese to buy $200 worth of stock in it.
Well, we weren't the only ones. I think everybody in town bought some. Cedric was in here a while ago telling me he bought a $10 interest, sold his dog to get the money.
Old Ring?
Yes, sir. The best varmint dog that ever struck nose to a trail. Sold him to the Macmillan boy.
Well, he ought to be bored for the samples. And us, too, far as that goes.
Well, I wish Squire'd either start drilling or give up the ID1. I'm sorry I ever leased the ground to him. My place looked like a picnic ground over there yesterday. Folks drove for miles in here to see the oil well.
Yeah, I could see you had a big crowd over there. I thought at first some of your family might be down sick, but happened to think about the oil derrick.
Oh, it was a sight. Little Pearl wanted to put in a lemonade stand right there in the yard. And might have did well with it, too. But we never had no fresh lemons, and that stuff they make out of lemon flavor, and I don't suit my taste.
Was Squire over there?
Oh, yeah. He's standing there on the porch making him a speech. According to him, well, that oil derrick is there's going to be so many of them things around here, a fella ain't going to be able to find room to build a house here in town.
Did you stay there all day?
Oh, yeah. Had to. Keep them young'uns off of the derrick. Climbing all over it.
Yeah, that's dangerous the way it's built.
Oh, my, yes. That youngest boy, Snake Hogan's, climbed clean to the top of that thing. And wouldn't come down. Sat up there and sassed me. I couldn't get to him. Had to get his mama to promise not to whip him before he'd come down at all.
Oh, yeah, that youngster's getting plumb out of control. Robert's the only one of them children that's going to amount to nothing.
Yeah, well, now, there's a lot of others around here that needs to visit the woodshed a little oftener, too.
Who's that? Oh, Grandpappy Spears.
He's in here a while ago looking for you.
What was he want?
I don't know. He never said. Just want to know if you was here.
Come in, Grandpap.
Come on back, Grandpap.
Yeah, the very fella wanted to see you, huh? Yeah, Abner was telling me he was in here looking for me. Sit down.
Yeah, here, take this box, Grandpap.
No, keep the seat, Abner. I can stay right here. Back up here to the bar and thaw myself out a little. It's getting cold out. Yes, it is. Awful nippy.
Yeah, blackberry winter set in, I do believe. The way that sun was out yesterday, why, I thought the cold weather was over.
You say you wanted to see me, Grandpap? Was it something private? No, I just wanted to find out for sure what you aim to do about making that moving picture on. Oh, why, we've decided just to give up the idea, Grandpap.
Yeah.
Found out that camera we bought was out of style. And can't make talking pictures with it. And that fella at the theater in there at the county seat says there ain't no market for them silent pictures no more. Uh-huh. Well, that's what I hear, but I just want to hear you say it. I feel like all the Italians scared you fellas going to run into trouble over that. Well, that's the reason we give up the idea, decide not to make it.
Yeah.
I mean, you're going to have trouble if you don't. Sister Simpson called me over to the boarding house this morning and asked me for a little advice on it. I think she's aiming on lawsuing you.
Lawsuing us?
For what? Well, she showed me a contract that she signed with you fellas where you're hiring her at so much a week to make the picture. Oh, yeah, well, sure. Yeah, if we'd have made the picture, we'd have paid her, too, but we just ain't going to make no picture. No use to hire somebody for something you ain't going to do.
Why, of course not. What's the matter with that old woman, anyway? Might know she'd give us trouble.
Well, it ain't none of my business, but I just sort of ought to tell you. No, sure, we appreciate it.
Oh, yeah.
But it ain't nothing to worry about. Pine Ridge Moving Picture Company is unsolved, and that's all there are to it. Lots of these folks around here we had contracts with, too, but you don't hear none of them complain.
Oh, she's just a troublemaker, that's all, that old woman.
Oh, well, I can explain it to her and straighten her out on it all right.
Yeah, you ought to.
What else is new, Grandpa? Oh, not much or nothing, I don't reckon, Mom. Guess you've heard about Ruth Wilkerson?
No. What's the matter with Ruth?
Fine baby boy over at that place this morning.
Well, I do know.
Well, we'll have to send him over a box of cigars, Abner.
Oh, that little baby couldn't smoke cigars long.
Oh, I don't mean the baby, Ruth. Wait a minute here. No, Granny's Ruth owes us a cigar. And that's how I found out about it. I seen Mose Moot smoking a cigar a while ago, and he told me where he got it at.
Uh-huh.
The boys was joshing Mose down there at the barber shop. Said seeing him sitting around there with that cigar in his mouth was a sure sign of rain. Hog with a stick in his mouth. Oh, you've heard that old wheeze before, Abner?
Well, I never said I hadn't.
You act like it. So Ruth's got a boy. That'd be hard to get along with now.
Well, I just hope this one takes after their mammy. I'll swan every one of them children, they're just a spitting image of old Lou. All got them big watery blue eyes.
Yeah, tell him as far as you can see him.
And I do believe he was a homeless somebody I ever knowed. He could pass for a scarecrow, that feller.
Yeah, recollect that old lettered saying of mine, beauty's only skin deep.
And they ought to skin him, then.
Now, ain't you ashamed of yourself talking about Ruth that way? There ain't an honester man in the community than Ruth Wilkerson, and you know it.
I never said nothing about him not being honest.
Yeah, like Charity always says, pretty is as pretty does. Yeah, that's right.
Huh?
Pretty is as pretty does.
Well, what in the world are you talking about, Lum?
Well, that means, you might have a pretty face, but if you don't act pretty, or better to say, you might have an ugly face, we're going to talk about you. But if you act pretty, you're pretty.
Yeah, but, well, what do you mean, act pretty?
If you're nice. Always kind to everybody and all that.
Oh, well, how about the widow Abernathy? She's always nice to everybody. And would you say that she's pretty, the widow?
Why, well, Granny, you would pick out somebody like that. She's pretty in the way she acts.
Well, I never did see her doing any acting then.
Now, you don't appear to understand what we're talking about.
I understand what you're talking about. You said pretty was as pretty does. And
I never said no such a thing. See, there's lots of folks we sort of think of as being pretty, but when we go to tearing them apart, they ain't...
Tearing them apart? Folks?
There's got to be some character behind them, Abner.
Who?
Characters.
And I don't know nothing about that.
Honest and such as that. You know what character means.
Well, I don't care what you say, Grandpap. Anybody that sets up and says Ruth Wilkerson and the widow Abernathy is pretty, while there's something wrong with their head, I'm going to man.
Here comes Squire.
Argue with me about it.
Now's a good chance to have it out with him about that oil well.
Yeah, that's what you ought to do on this.
And if we're stockholders in that oil company, we can demand that they start drilling right away.
That's just the thing. You tell him, Mom. I'll back you up in it. Yes, sir.
Let me handle him. He thinks he knows all about business.
Oh, well, old Squire, he's pretty hard to argue with on that.
Well, he don't know any more about it than I do. I'll tell him that.
Well, now, just be careful. Don't wind up buying any more stock in it. That's what I'm fearing.
Don't you worry. I wouldn't buy nothing you ever had.
Well, I've heard you say that before, and then Squires walked right in and sold you in, sir.
Better mind out.
Be quiet.
Come in, Squire. Yeah, howdy, Squire.
Good morning, gentlemen. Good morning. How are my old friends this morning?
Come on back, Squire. I want to talk to you.
Yes, well, good. I want to talk to you, too, Lum.
Yeah, sit down.
No, thank you, Lum. No, I haven't got but a minute. I have some papers here to serve, Lum, but naturally, us being such good friends and all, why, I thought it was only fair to you that I should come over and discuss it with you a little first.
Yeah, about that oil well.
No, this isn't the oil well, Lum. The oil well's a fine proposition. That's looking better every day. I'm tickled to death over it.
Yeah.
But now, on this other proposition, as you know, Lum, I have been acting as agent, manager, you know, for a number of people around town here whom you have signed to appear in your first motion picture.
Oh, yeah, well, that's all off now. See, we've decided not to make the picture, Squire, on account of we got the wrong kind of a camera. It just takes silent pictures. They don't say nothing when you see it.
Yes, I understand all that, Lum. But now I'm afraid that you're going to have to pay these salaries to my clients regardless of whether you make the picture or not.
Well, they can't expect us to pay them when we ain't even...
Well, now, wait a minute, Lum. I don't care to discuss it any further. You can take the matter up with our attorneys if you care to make the settlement.
Well, it looks as though the old fellows may be forced to make that picture after all. Some mothers who are able to meet almost any situation don't quite know what to do when their children refuse to drink milk. Some mothers threaten.
Johnny, you drink that glass of milk this very instant, or you won't go to the movies Saturday.
Then again, other mothers promise.
If you'll be a good boy and drink all your milk, I'll give you an extra helping of ice cream.
But there are many, many smart modern mothers who get their children to drink milk without any pleading, without any scolding. Here's what they do. They give the youngsters hot postum made with milk, and you should see the children go for it. Not only because of the delightful, full-bodied flavor of this delicious cereal beverage, but because postum has a rich, dark color that appeals to children, keeps milk interesting, and makes them feel just like grown-ups. And youngsters can drink all they want of it, too. For postum contains no caffeine, no stimulant of any kind, nothing that could possibly cause nervousness, indigestion, or sleeplessness. It's simply whole wheat and bran, skillfully roasted and slightly sweetened. And unlike many rich, sweet drinks, postum made with hot milk will not take away their desire for the other foods they should have. So if you want your children to drink milk and like it, give them postum made with milk. You may hear Lum and Abner again next Wednesday evening at this same time. This is Lou Crosby saying good evening for the boys and for the makers of postum. This is the Columbia Broadcasting System.
Good evening. The makers of the new Rinso bring you the Amos and Andy Show with their guest tonight, the star of stage and screen, Mr. Walter Houston. Trouble is nothing new to Amos and Andy or their friends. They're usually able to cope with almost anything that comes along. However, today, George Stevens, the Kingfish, seems to have run into a little extra trouble, which appears to be more than he can handle. Right now, he is in the office at the Lodge Hall trying to explain it to Amos and Andy.
No, boys, I tell you, I don't want to sit down. I'm too nervous. Yeah, you sure is trembling. All right.
Take it easy, Kingfish.
I can't, boys. I jammed up. I really in a mess. Oh, I tell you, I'm being sued.
What is you being sued for?
Yeah, and who is doing it? I'm being sued by a fellow by the name of Mr. Jackson, and for no reason at all. I was just exercising my rights as a citizen of the United States of America to use freedom of speech. Yeah, I called him a crook, a loafer, a swindler, and a bum, and the man is suing me.
A crook, a loafer, a swindler, and a bum?
Yeah, do the Constitution allow you to say that? Well, there's freedom of speech, there's 4 freedoms and all that stuff. Yeah, I only called him 4. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, if I'd have called him a thief on top of that made 5 freedoms, then the man got a case against me, you see.
Oh, that's a dangerous thing to do. When did you do it?
Oh, here's the whole story. A few weeks ago, I wrote this fellow, Mr. Jackson, a letter. Now, in the letter, I called him those names. And now he's suing me for $1,000. He claimed I done smushed up his reputation. Oh, that nifty Jackson didn't have $1,000 worth of reputation to smooch up.
Yeah, well, that ain't what counts. Tell me, Kingfish, how is you going to handle the case?
By getting a lawyer. Oh, I'm going to see the alley lawyer that hangs around back of the jail. I'm going to see him. Oh, wait a minute here. He charges big money before he's going to give you any advice. Where are you going to get the dough to pay him? Brother Ender, I think I got a great idea for that. I is going home now and see the little woman. Honey, your engagement ring don't sparkle like it oughta.
Well, what's the matter with that ring?
Oh, that diamond used to look like the 20th Century Limited coming in at night. Now look at it. Not a twinkle in the thing.
That's a beautiful diamond, though, George.
Yeah, but the thing needs cleaning. Let me look at that. Yeah, look at it. That thing needs... Give me that ring. I'll take it over to the jeweler, and I'll have him give that a good cleaning. I want my wife to sparkle like other women sparkle. There's nothing sloppier looking than dirty diamonds. Now, look here, Honest Joe. You ought to give me more than $15 on that stone.
That's the top price, Kingfish. You see, the way we figures is on the color of them. Blue-white stones is worth the most. The plain white ones is fair. And the yellow ones ain't so good.
Yellow bad, huh? What color would you say this one is?
Well, Kingfish, in the trade, this is what we call a jaundice diamond.
Yellow, huh?
Yellow and cloudy. Even a yellow diamond, you're supposed to see the daylight through it. Fact is, Kingfish, looking at this again, I see it's muddy, too.
Oh, give me the $15. Just give me the $15. That's enough there. Now, look here. Here what I want you to do on top of that. You take the stone out of the ring. Now, here is a rhinestone that I got at the 5 and 10 cent store. Put this in place of it, and I'll take it home to the little woman and put it back where it was.
Oh, all right. I'll make the switch for you.
Tell me this. You think that my wife will notice the difference?
Well, if she does, it's only because the rhinestone looks better than the diamond.
Well, Kingfish is your lawyer. There's two ways you can settle this case. What is it? Well, the first is to pay the man the $1,000. I like the second way better. Well, I ain't told you what the second way is yet. Yeah, well, whatever it is, I know I'm going to like it better. Well, the second way is the result of some pretty heavy studying. I skimmed over several similar cases, looked over the whole legal aspect of the case. And it is my personal opinion as an attorney that there's a way that can't fail. Now you talking. Now, what is that? Tell me that. Well, scare the pants off the other lawyer. Scare him so bad that he'll drop the suit against you. Put fear in him. F-E-E-R, fear. Well, now, I don't know about that. That's going to take a lot of thought and time. There's nothing else I could do, huh? Well, there is a third way. Oh, what's that? The third way ain't included in the $15. Oh, I see. The money that I have paid you only includes two ways. Yeah, it runs approximately $7.50 a way. You see, the reason the third way runs into extra money is because it's all postgraduate stuff. Stuff I done learned after my diploma was framed and on the wall and everything. Well, I just can't afford it, though. But, come to think of it, that second way ain't bad at all. Put fear in the other lawyer. Yeah, that's just what I'm going to do. What took you so long, Kingfish? Well, after I went over to the pawn shop, I had to sneak back into my house without my wife seeing me and put the phony ring back in the jewel box where she keep it. And then I went to see the alley lawyer, see. Oh, yeah. Well, what did the alley lawyer tell you? Yeah, well, my alley lawyer told me to put fear in the man. Fear? Yeah, people is more scared of fear than anything. Yeah. Well, how is you going to do it? Now, look here. When I meet Snifty Jackson's lawyer, I suppose to make him think that I is tough. A cold-blooded, mean, tough guy. I suppose to make him think that if they don't drop that case against me, I'll liable to beat them both up. When do you start this one-man reign of terror? I'll start raining right away. It just happens, Andy, that Mr. Jackson's lawyer, a man by the name of Mr. Nelson, called me up, and he wants to meet me at 4 o'clock this afternoon to see if I won't settle. That is when I'm going to show him how tough I is. Yeah, well, how can you make a man scared of you? Oh, it's going to be a cinch, Andy. I tell you what I'm going to do. Oh, wait a minute. Here's my man now. Come in here, Lightning.
What did you want to see me about, Brother Kingfish?
Lightning, for certain reasons, I want to be a tough guy. I want you to find me a man that will let me punch him in the nose, and I'll give him $2 for it.
I'll let you punch me in the nose for $2.
No, Lightning, I got to leave friendship out of this. Get me a total stranger, a nice-sized fella. Can you do it?
Yeah, sir.
Now, good. Now, here's what I want you to do. Lightning, you know where Sam's lunchroom is?
Yeah, sir.
I'll be there at 4:30 on the dot. Me, Andy, and a lawyer.
Yeah, sir.
Now, we'll sit down so there'll be an empty stool next to me. Tell the man to sit down next to me on the empty stool and order a hamburger and have him say, with pickles, onions, and mustard. I'll know it's him when I hear them words, and I'll pick a fight with him, and I'll punch him in the nose.
Yeah, sir, I'll get busy on it right now, and I'll have the man at the lunchroom at 4:30 sharp.
Okay, Lightning. Well, I sure hope everything work out all right, Kingfish. Oh, it can't miss, Brother Andy. The whole idea is foolproof. Punching the guy in the nose, scaring the pants off the other lawyer, hocking my wife's diamond. Why, Andy, within a year, I'll bet they'll be teaching this stuff in every law school in the country.
Hello, Sam's lunchroom.
Is there a man sitting at the counter by the name of Kingfish Stevens?
No, ain't nobody here now. All the stools are empty.
Well, I was supposed to have a man there for him at 4:30 sharp, but I couldn't find one for him today. But I'm sure I'll have one there for him tomorrow. Well, I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll call up the Kingfish in about 5 minutes.
Okay.
Go right on in, Mr. Nelson. Right on in there.
Well, I don't know why we're going into this lunchroom. I don't want anything to eat.
Well, it won't take long. I'll sit on the end stool here, Kingfish. Mr. Nelson, you sit next to me, and Kingfish, you sit down there. Could we have 2 hamburgers, Sam?
Okay.
Excuse me, I'll lean down here and tie my shoes. You know, Mr. Nelson, this Kingfish is a tough guy. Anybody makes him mad or cross him, he's a fighter from the word go. What are you fellas talking about? Just feeling my muscle in my right arm here. Got to have the sleeve made bigger. Here we go. Look at that. There's a fellow sitting next to Kingfish.
What do you have?
1 hamburger, please.
1 hamburger?
Oh, put some pickle and onions and mustard on it for me, will you?
Well, Andy, we're right on schedule. Here I go. Say, Bud, will you pass me that salt up here in front of us?
Sure. Here you are.
Pass the pepper, too.
Okay, here it is.
Pass the ketchup.
Ketchup? I don't see any ketchup.
Listen, I done took just about enough from you. Stand up. Watch this, Mr. Nelson. Watch.
What's the matter?
Put up your dukes. I'll show you what's the matter. Take this. Here.
Look, Andy, the Kingfish is opening his eyes now.
Oh, me. Where is her?
We brung you over here to your office, Kingfish. You was laying on the sofa.
Oh, me. Every bone in my body aches. See if you can open that left eye of yours, Kingfish. Who was that fella that I got in the fight with? Well, he seemed to be a pretty nice fella. He even helped us pick you off the floor and carry you over here. Oh, what did you put on my nose, boys?
We didn't put nothing on there.
You mean that what I feel there is all nose? Every inch of it.
Here, Kingfish, here's a piece of beefsteak I got you for your eye. Let's put it right on there now. That'll help take the swelling down.
Oh, me. I still could have licked that fella if it'd been a fair fight. Well, what wasn't fair about it? He was a head shorter than you was. Yeah, well, that's where he had the advantage of me. You see, I had my arm up guarding myself like this, and he was so short that he got under my guard, and before I could get him from under there, I was on the floor. That's it. Well, Kingfish, that whole plan of yours was a flop.
What is he going to do about the lawsuit now, Kingfish?
Listen, boys, the alley lawyer has got a third way how that I can handle the whole thing with the judge. But he won't tell me unless I give him $5 extra in advance.
Well, I just ain't got it, Kingfish.
Yeah, and I is flat broke. I got to get $5 somewhere to find out how to handle this case. Listen, Amos, I tell you what you do. Go over to my wife. She's got some money that she's going to give the landlord today. Ask her to let me have $5 of that.
All right, I'll go over there and see what I can do. So you see, that's the whole story, Sapphire. The Kingfish needs the money to pay a lawyer.
Well, I ain't got it, Amos. I've already paid the landlord the rent this morning. And another thing, I ain't seen the Kingfish. Where is he at? He didn't come home last night.
Oh, he's all right. He was sort of stretched out on the sofa resting when I left him. He's been mixed up in a lot of things here lately.
Well, is he well? Is he eating?
Oh, yeah, he's eating all right. A fact is, the last time I seen him, he had his eye on a steak.
Well, Amos, I'd like to give him the $5, but I just ain't got it. Wait a minute. I know what I'll do.
Oh, has you got an idea?
Amos, it's at a time like this that a wife has got to stick by her husband, no matter what the cost or the sacrifice is. I was going to raise the money for that lawyer.
Oh, that's wonderful. How is he going to do it?
I was going out and pawn my diamond engagement ring.
It's been a busy morning in Judge Houston's court, where the Kingfish will appear later in the afternoon. But right now, before the Kingfish's case comes up, the judge is concluding another case just prior to his noon recess.
Motion for a new trial denied. James Edward Farrington, you as defendant in this case are entitled to no sympathy from this court. The crime for which you were originally brought here is insignificant compared to your attempt to alter the opinion of a court of justice through bribery. Sentence just imposed upon you for attempted bribery is extremely severe. Let it stand as a lesson to those who are of the belief that judges and juries can be bought and sold like commodities in a public market. The judicial system of this country has built up a reputation for honesty and integrity over a period of many years. And as judge of this court, I am going to do everything in my power to do my part in preserving that reputation. Bailiff, take the prisoner away. Be a recess for lunch. Court will reconvene at 2:30.
Are you going to lunch, Judge Houston?
No, I'm just going to have a glass of milk. This last case has upset me somewhat. I have a little headache. I think I'll go over to the park and sit down on a bench and get a little fresh air. There's nothing that infuriates me like a man trying to bribe somebody.
Well, let's sit down on this park bench here, Brother Andy. Yeah, you got about 45 minutes before you got to go to court. Yeah, I was all prepared, though. Like I told you, the alley lawyer told me all that stuff, how to handle Judge Houston. You know, he's the judge that's going to handle my case. Tell me this. How did you raise that $5 to pay the alley lawyer? Oh, one of the brothers at the lodge all let me have it. Oh, I was all set to take care of this Judge Houston. I got the box of cigars under my arm, a couple of bucks in my pocket.
Do one of you men have a match?
Oh, yes, sir, yes, sir. I think I got one here.
Thank you very much.
There you go.
Thank you. Mind if I sit down here?
Oh, no, sir. Move over there, Andy. Yeah.
Where are you boys from?
We live up around 125th Street.
Yes, sir. My friend here, the Kingfish, is waiting to go into court over there.
Yeah, going over to Judge Houston's court.
Oh, is that so?
Ain't going to take long, though, I guess.
No, it ain't going to take us long, because I know exactly how to handle that judge.
No, you do.
No.
Oh, well, how do you handle Judge Houston?
Well, first of all, I got a box of cigars here. I'm going to slip him damn little bribery stuff, you know. That's what I'm going to do.
And only 5-cent cigars, too. Plenty good enough for him.
5-cent cigars, huh? I suppose you saved the 10-cent ones for the Supreme Court cases, huh?
Oh, sure, yeah. And another thing, if the cigars don't work, why, we got a few bucks in cash for the judge.
Mm-hmm. You mean to say that a judge, let's say, for instance, this Judge Houston can be bought?
Well, I wouldn't go so far as to say that he can be bought, but he certainly can be rented. I know that.
Oh, yeah. These days you can get to them.
Well, that's very, very interesting. Tell me more. How would you reach Judge Houston?
Oh, that ain't hard at all. Judge Houston reaches awful easy.
Yeah, our lawyer told us all about how to handle it.
Well, Judge Houston ain't no more to us than nobody else is. He's just as crooked as the others, you know.
Oh, this Judge Houston is a crooked judge, Jerome.
Oh, yeah, so he stuffed his own ballot boxes. That's how Judge Houston got elected, yeah.
The man is crooked as a snake. You know, he wears one of them long black gowns in the court, they tell us. Somebody hand him a box of cigars, a couple pounds of steak, a few dollars. All I got to do is shove it under that gown. Ain't nobody going to see him.
I see. That's what those gowns are for. They sort of make things disappear.
Oh, ain't nothing to it when you get a judge like Houston, I'll tell you.
Well, I still don't see how you expect to do something like that in a court.
Oh, it's a cinch. The most important thing is, wait a minute, look, I'll show you just how we work it, just how we bribe the judge.
Yes, I'm glad to know these things.
Well, now let's suppose that this is the courtroom right here, and we'll use this bench we're sitting on here for the judge's bench. Andy, you can just stand here and kind of watch the thing. Now, you, mister, can you make believe you was Judge Houston?
Well, that shouldn't be too hard.
Okay, then. The trial is just starting.
Well, now, wait a minute. You got to get on the stand, Kingfish.
Yeah, all right, mister. You play like you Judge Houston. Now, you asked me to get on the stand. My name is George Kingfish Stevens.
All right. Will the defendant, George Kingfish Stevens, please take the stand?
Yeah, now, wait, don't take the thing too serious there.
Yeah. After all, we just talking the thing over here, mister.
Oh, yeah. Now, I was in the chair on the witness stand. Now, I leans over to you and I say, hiya, Judge. Then I say to you, listen, Houston, old boy, can I come behind the bench there and speak to you private, confidential, and under your hat? Now, as the judge, you say something back to me, you know.
Anything you have to say to me, you can say it to this court.
Yeah, wait a minute, mister. You can't talk that way. Now, just a minute. Look here. You see, what I'm trying to do, I'm trying to show you something. Now, you were supposed to act like you was Judge Houston. I don't think you get the idea of what we're trying to do here.
No, you don't get the idea, mister.
So now, be more natural. Now, look, I'm going to say to you here now, I say, now, all right, now, I'm on the witness stand, and you sitting on the judge's bench. I say to you, I say, Judge, old boy, Judge, I got a little package here for you. Now, give me an answer to that, and I'll show you.
Any package that you have that has any bearing on this case can be opened in front of the court.
Yeah, well, you see, Judge... Oh, wait a minute, mister. Wait a minute. Mother, you can't talk that way.
But there again, I feel that that's what a judge might say.
You do, huh?
No, I see someone coming for me. It looks like I might have to be running along.
Yeah, see you again soon.
Yes, we may meet again very soon.
Excuse me a second. I hate to bother you, but there's a long-distance call, and the operator says it's person to person. For you, Judge Houston.
All right, I'll take it. Goodbye, boys.
And,
What?
You remember the man that was sitting here on the bench with us?
Yeah.
Remember the man that walked up to him?
Yeah, uh-huh.
When he walked up to him, think now, Andy, did he call him... No, I ain't going to even ask you that because I know it. That'd be a 7 million to 1 shot. That's the biggest coincidence that ever happened in the world. Now, look here. The man was sitting here.
Right.
Now, another man walked up to him.
Ain't no question about that.
You heard every word he said, ain't you?
Yeah.
When he walked up and told him about the long-distance telephone, did he call him something that started out with the letter H?
Yeah.
Now, listen, Andy. Think good. Pull all your brains together in one lump. I'm going to ask you something. Did he call him?
Uh-huh.
So I say, in the case of Nifty Jackson versus Kingfish Stevens, the plaintiff has shown no evidence of libel. A mere letter mailed in a sealed envelope to the plaintiff does not constitute libel in the eyes of the law. The case is dismissed. Before I adjourn court, I would like to say something purely for the benefit of the defendant. A black robe worn by a jurist is a symbol of justice. It is never worn to hide anything. Court adjourned.
Andy, Brother Andy, where is you? Andy, come over here.
Yeah.
Oh, Andy, it's over, Brother Andy, it's over. Put it there.
Yeah, and I'm going to tell you something, Kingfish. I want to tell you that Judge Houston sure was fair with you.
Oh, I say it was fair, Andy. I ain't never been this scared before in my life. After what we done said to him in the park.
Yeah.
Oh, this has been a great lesson to me, Brother Andy. I ain't never going to do nothing again that will get me in trouble with the law. My skirts is clean, and, boy, I'm going to keep them that way.
Yeah, well, put it there. Put it there. Come on, let's get out of here.
Yeah.
Pardon me just a minute. Are you George Stevens, the Kingfish?
Oh, yeah, so that's right. I'm George Stevens. What do you want to do, take my picture or something for the newspaper?
No, I have a warrant here for your arrest. A lady is having you arrested for pawning the stone out of her diamond ring.
Wait a minute. That ain't no lady. That's my wife.
Be sure to be with us again next Friday evening at this same time when the makers of Rinso again bring you the Amos and Andy Show, at which time Amos and Andy will have as their guest the fine picture actor Mr. Franklin Pangborn. Meantime, this is Harlow Wilcox speaking for all of us, thanking Walter Houston for appearing with us tonight, and bidding all of you a pleasant good night.
The difference. Campbell's Tomato Juice presents
George Burns and Gracie Alice with Tony Martin and Ken Niles and Henry King and his music.
The Ice Wing. just a minute, George Burns and J.C. Allen will be with us. Meanwhile, this is Ken Niles with a message for everybody who hasn't yet tasted that refreshing, thirst-quenching, soothing, satisfying, grand and glorious drink, Campbell's tomato juice. Now, until you drink Campbell's, you don't know how downright good tomato juice can be. Or in between, you can enjoy a tomato juice that has the true, fresh, biting deep into a fresh-picked tomato in August. That's the thrill you get in your first glass of Campbell's tomato juice. Drink tomato juice or whether you don't. Tomorrow I want you to try Campbell's tomato juice at its very best. Do it, will you? Fine. And now, here are George and J.C.
Thank you very much. Hello, boys. Hello. Well, J.C., say hello to everybody.
Hello. Oh, am I excited? I'm getting married. Whee!
Married? Is that so?
Yeah. He called me up on the telephone and he said to me, he said, he said, honey, will you marry me?
Yes.
And I said, will I marry you? I've been waiting for this for years. I should say I will marry you. Isn't that wonderful? I've never been so excited.
Gracie, who is he? I say, who is he?
Yeah, I don't know.
You don't know?
No, he hung up.
He hung up?
Yeah, well, maybe he wanted to be the first one to tell us about the good news, huh?
Wouldn't be a bit surprised.
Whimsical, jealous, huh, Jimsy?
Gracie, I was just coming to that. Jimmy Newell is another one.
What?
Yes, he's making a picture and was called away on location, so we had to leave this program.
Jimmy Newell isn't on this program anymore.
No.
Why, that's like taking the cream out of your coffee.
I know.
It's like taking the spark plug out of your automobile.
Yeah, but...
Well, that's like taking my uncle out of jail.
Yes.
That's like...
Quiet. I'd like to introduce our new singer.
Why, that's
Quiet. Ladies and gentlemen, it gives me great pleasure to introduce a young fellow that everybody is talking about. He's been a big success in his first few pictures with 20th Century Fox. And I'm young, he's handsome. Just a minute. And he has a grand voice. I want you to meet Tony Martin.
Thank you very much. Certainly a thrill getting on the Burns and Allen show and meeting everybody. I'd like to be one of the crowd, so I'd appreciate it if you just call me Tony.
Tony? Oh, are you any relation to Tom McCord?
Don't mind her, Tony. She's upset because she thinks Jimmy Newell walked out on her.
Well, I don't blame you, Gracie. I bet you missed you, Jimsicle Whimsicle.
Jimsicle Whimsicle? Jimsicle Whimsicle. Nicely said.
Yes. We used to be on this program as far back as last Wednesday.
Oh, yeah. Whatever became of this program?
There you are, Tony. She's forgotten Jimmy Newell in 1 week.
Gracie.
Yes, Tony.
I hope you don't forget me a week after I'm gone.
Why, Tony, a week after you're gone, I'll be with you, if you know what I mean.
Okay. I think he knows what you mean. Ken Niles. Yes? This is Tony Martin.
Hello, Ken.
Hello, Tony. And this is Henry James.
Oh, I know Henry.
Yeah.
I heard him play the piano before I ever came on this program.
Oh, good. Then he won't be such a shock to you as he was to us.
Well, yes, it's one happy little family.
Hello, Tony. I saw you in your last picture, and you were swell.
You mean Pigskin Parade?
Pigskin Parade? Oh, I didn't know Pigskin Parade. They can hardly walk. How can they parade?
No, Gracie. I mean, pigskins means football.
Yeah, you see, a football is made of pigskin.
What's that?
Hide. The pigs outside.
Oh, well, if the pig's outside, bring them in, George. Any friend of yours is a friend of mine.
Gracie.
That was very clever, George.
Clever? I didn't say anything.
Oh, that's when you're clever.
Tony, I saw you in your last picture. That sure was a funny scene between you, Jack Haley, and Alice Faye.
Oh, do you mean that Tony acts in pictures?
Yeah, he plays romantic parts.
Romantic parts?
Well, I think you call them romantic parts.
You mean you make love to movie stars, you hug them, and you kiss them?
Yeah, yes, I do.
Well, tell me, Tony, is it a thrill to kiss Clark Gable?
Gracie, Tony Martin is a man.
Well, so is Clark Gable.
Did you ever hear of two men kissing?
My daddy and my uncle.
Your daddy and your uncle kissed?
They kissed my mother and aunt.
Tony Martin ever kiss Clark Gable? Did you ever kiss Greta Garbo?
Kiss her. I can't even get her autograph.
I can't either. I've tried myself.
Say, George, why is it? You're in pictures, Tony Martin's in pictures, Clark Gable's in pictures. Nothing happens to me.
Oh, maybe you're not the type. Try.
Yeah.
I mean, try.
That's better, yes, Stripe, yes. That clears that up.
I don't know. I'm tall and not hard to look at.
Yeah, and I love your hair, Henry. It's so black and slick.
Well, thanks. I'm glad you like my hair.
Oh, don't mention it. How often do you change your oil?
How often does he change his oil? About every 20 miles.
Oh, please, George. Tony, as long as you're the romantic type, the radio audience won't judge you by your singing, you know. They'll judge you by your kisses.
It's coming.
And Tony, I can tell by one kiss just what type of program a man should be on.
Well, Gracie, this is my first show, and I'm a little bit nervous.
Well, all right, Tony. Then I'll start with the other boys. But I'm going to save the best things for last. So, Henderson, you're first.
That's an idea, yeah.
First, eh? Well, okay, Gracie. So you can tell by one kiss just what type of program a man should be on.
Yes.
Well, here goes.
Yes. You belong in the hit parade.
Thanks.
Then I'll next.
All right.
You belong on the Campbell's Tomato Juice program on a kind of I Can Taste the Difference. And now, Judge Porgy.
Okie dokie.
You belong on Major Bo's amateur program.
I never cared to share my devotion. Love never touched my heart. I knew nothing of the thrill in store. I never dared to show my emotion. Now I'm about to start. Honey, I have never felt this way before. There's something in the air that warns me to beware tonight. There's something in the air. There's music in the breeze. I never saw the stars so bright. There's something in the air. Though I find there's danger in your eyes, the thrill is new. I've been blind, but now I realize what love can do. I feel it everywhere. So whisper you'll be mine tonight. There's something in the air. Yes, Henry King in the air. Now play some of those right ones, Henry. There's something in the air. Have a little light swing there, Henry. Just a little bit. There's something in the air. Oh, I find there's danger in your
right. Yes, sir, that was Tony Martin singing There's Something in the Air from Banjo on My Knee.
Yeah, Tony, and you were simply grand.
What did I tell you, Tony? Didn't I tell you there was nothing to be nervous about?
Well, Tony, we're glad to have you on this program, and it's all right with me if you haven't kissed Clark Gable.
Oh, sure. George isn't jealous.
Thanks.
Now, Tony, if you wanted to kiss me, I just said there's nothing I could do about it.
Well, you could holler for help.
But Tony doesn't look like that kind of a man.
You mean I'm not the kind of a man who would try to kiss you?
Well, no, I mean you're not the kind of a man who would need any help.
Well, Tony Martin has no idea of trying to kiss you.
Now, please, George. Tony Martin knows what his ideas are, I hope.
I don't know what his ideas are, but I want to set you right on one thing. If you ever kiss me, I'll be dead.
That's what I'm afraid of.
That's a nice compliment.
No, Gracie, you don't have to worry about Tony Martin forcing his attentions on you.
Yeah, that's right. Jimmy Newell was on this program for 6 months, and he never bothered you.
No, Jimmy Newell never grabbed you in his arms, or never hugged you, or kissed you.
I know he didn't. And why do you think he isn't on this program anymore, Tony?
Well, anything is liable to happen.
Said it. Now comes the surprise.
You mean I'm fired?
No. Tomorrow is Thanksgiving Day.
Well, that's no surprise. Everybody knows that.
Yeah, but I know it, too. That's the surprise.
That's not only a surprise. That's amazing.
So, in honor of Tony Martin and in honor of Thanksgiving, I'm going to dramatize one of my great events in history. I've written a special play about the Pilgrims called The Landing of the Indians.
You mean the landing of the Pilgrims?
No, the landing of the Indians, on account of when the Pilgrims landed on Plymouth Rock, the Indians landed on the Pilgrims.
And this is in honor of Tony Martin and Thanksgiving.
Yeah, they're my very favorite holidays.
Mine, too.
Now, George, you play the part of Captain Burns, skipper of the Mayflower. And I'm your good wife, Olive Oil.
I see. I'm Captain Burns, and you're my good wife, Olive Oil.
Yeah, on account of because olive oil is good for burns.
I get it. Olive oil, that's pretty hot stuff.
Tony.
Yes?
You're playing the part of the mate.
You mean I'm the captain's mate?
No, you're the captain's wife's mate.
Oh.
Remember what happened to Jimmy Newell?
Yes, I'll remember that.
Henry.
Yep.
You're playing the part of an early settler.
What's an early settler?
Anybody who pays his bills before the end of the month.
I see, and I suppose Ken Isles is an Indian.
Oh, don't be silly. Does he look like a foreigner?
A foreigner?
Ken?
Yes.
Mr. Niles.
You can't come in here. There's a broadcast going on.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. What's going on here?
Well, I'm Ned Shaw, the butcher. Mr. Niles told me to bring some turkeys up here. He says he'd like to pick one out. Mr. Niles.
Wait a minute. I told you to come after the broadcast.
Well, certainly. This is no time to try to sell people turkeys right in the middle of a radio show.
Certainly.
There's no time to sell people ducks or fish.
Yeah.
I wouldn't even buy a button from you. Take your buttons and get out.
Yeah. Oh.
This I'm not selling buttons.
Well, what are you selling?
Turkeys.
How much are they?
How much are they?
Yeah.
Well, you know how high turkeys run.
Certainly, they run as high as their hips, and from their hips up their thighs.
Wait a minute. Gracie, are we going to buy turkeys, or are we going to do a play?
Well, let's flip the butcher and see.
Flip the butcher? Well, Tony, this whole thing is in your honor.
And don't think that I appreciate it.
What did you say?
I said, don't think that I appreciate it.
That's what I thought you said.
Mr. Butcher, there's one thing that always puzzled me. After you cut off a turkey's head, how does he know which end to gobble with?
Ken, this is your butcher, so why don't you play with it?
Oh, and another thing. Does a turkey gobble or does it cluck? Gobble, cluck.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, Mr. Butcher, is it a thrill to kiss a fellow like Cluck Gobble?
Cluck Gobble?
Yes.
Cluck Gobble. You people don't want a turkey. What you want is a padded cell. Good night.
Well, he certainly got rid of us easy, didn't he?
Yes, he did.
Well, anywho, getting back to my play at Plymouth Rock, George, you play Captain Burns.
I know. We all know our part. But what are you going to use for Plymouth Rock?
Oh, don't be silly. Use your head.
Henry King will play a medley of Born to Dance.
A medley?
You know what a medley is.
You mean like Tony Martin is medley in love with me?
That's what I mean. All right, Henry.
You know, lots of folks whom I've persuaded to try Campbell's tomato juice are amazed when they first taste it. They say this is no ordinary tomato juice. This is real. Why, it tastes like biting into a big, juicy tomato in the good old summertime. They ask me how on earth Campbell's can keep in it that real, fresh tomato flavor. Well, I wish I could show all of you the tomatoes Campbell's use for their tomato juice. They are beauties, more luscious to look at and to taste than you'd ever dream a tomato could be. They grow from special seeds and ripen under the warm August sun. And I wish you could see the canning of Campbell's tomato juice, how the fresh, natural flavor and the vitamins are scientifically protected for you to enjoy. But you try Campbell's tomato juice because, honestly, one glass will tell you how good it is. You'll be delighted with the lively flavor of the very first swallow. Keep several cans always in the refrigerator. You'll find you'll be going for it often. So be sure the tomato juice you buy is Campbell's. Remember, there really is a big difference in tomato juice. Campbell's is the one with the true, fresh tomato flavor. Taste the difference. And now for Gracie's hysterical dramatization, The Landing of the Indians. Cast, Captain of the Mayflower, George Burns. His good wife, Olive Oil, Gracie Allen. An early settler who comes across, Henry King. The captain's mate, Tony Martin. And an Indian, a foreigner, a gentleman, and a scholar, Ken Niles. And now for the play.
Go ahead, Captain Burns. Act. Your ship's in.
Well, here goes for some acting.
Say, that's very good.
Wait a minute, I didn't start yet.
Oh.
The Mayflower has landed safely. Men, tie her up to the warp.
Tie her up to the what?
Warp! Warp! Warp!
Somebody throw George a piece of liver.
Ahoy there! Make the boat fast. We'd like to disembark.
Disembark?
Bark! Bark!
Warp, warp, warp.
Silence! Silence!
Captain, behold yon Indians. I cannot leave thy ship without taking my life in my hand.
Oh, Captain, if he's going to take his life in his hands, you'll have to carry the suitcases.
Hast thou gone nuts, the captain of the Mayflower, carrying suitcases?
Well, then, call a redskin.
A redskin? You mean a redcap?
Well, shiver my timbers if it isn't New England. Come, Captain, let's bustle ashore and see what yon two Indians want.
Come, Pilgrim. Follow my captain. And when we parley with yon savages, let me do the talking. Do you follow me?
No.
You don't understand me?
Oh, we understand you, Captain, but we're not going to follow you. We Puritans can't go into saloons.
Silence, my followers. Here are the Indians. Hello, Chief.
How? We Indian Chief Customs Officers. My name Sitting Dawn. My partner name Standing Hop.
Sitting down and standing up? Well, say, here must be a couple of Indians from the Bronx.
Take him easy, white man. What you got in that valise?
'Tis none of thy business. Who dost thou think thou art?
White man better keep mouth closed and let me see him suitcase.
Oh, Tony, shut your mouth and open the suitcase.
You better be careful, mate.
Yes, or we will take your scalp, police, and murder you.
Scalp, police, murder!
Scalp, police, murder!
What trouble here? Meet my Indian friend, Chief Riding Bull.
Hello, How.
How? Me, Indian ship reporter.
Oh. I say, How Riding Bull, eh? Say, aren't you the butcher that was here a while ago with the turkey?
Well, yeah, but business was bad and I had a couple of feathers left over, so I stuck a feather in my hat and made myself like an Indian.
Well, partner, you don't look like an Indian. Well, aside from that, how are you boys doing?
Me very happy. Me got no squawk.
You got no squawk. Oh, him a bachelor.
Yeah, him a bachelor.
Me married, but me got no papoose.
Oh, yes, you have. You got the silliest looking papoose I ever.
Olive oil, have a care. These Indians might be cannibals.
You mean our sponsors?
Oh, yeah, cannibals, tomato juice.
I do commercials. Here comes Trunk.
Oh, that's not a trunk. That's our early settler, Henry King. He's only half trunk.
Half trunk.
Henry King, huh? You cannot bring cantaloupe into this country.
Cantaloupe? That's my face.
Henry, don't argue. Take it back and bring them cantaloupe.
Well, Henry. Well, say something, Henry.
Throw him a line. Will somebody throw him a line? Throw him a line.
That's fine. The sound man threw a line on the stage.
Oh, yeah, my line.
Yes.
I will pay duty. Dost thou think my face is a luxury?
Well, it certainly doesn't look like a necessity.
Tracy, instead of your name being olive oil, it should be maple syrup.
Why? On account of I'm so sweet?
No, because you're a refined fat.
I don't get it.
You don't, then.
Lady got 'em statement to make for Indian newspaper.
Well, yes. Mother Goose rhyme.
Double up.
Rhyme. Sing a song of 6 pines. I'm here to introduce you Indian bucks and pretty squaws to Campbell's tomato juice.
That's nice.
It's a swell drink for Thanksgiving. You Redmen are in luck. A squaw can buy a can for her dime, or 10 cans for her buck.
10 cans for her buck. Well, that's the finish.
Yeah.
Me can't print that for readers.
No,
Readers
but you-
think me nuts. Me cultured. Me proper.
You what?
Me proper.
Congratulations, boy or girl.
Boy or girl?
Gracie, I thought this play was supposed to be in my honor. I didn't have anything to do.
Oh, yes, you have, Tony. You've got something very important to say right now.
What is it?
Well, you're supposed to ask me what I'm going to do after the broadcast.
Gracie,
Then I say,
Gracie, what's that got to do with the landing of the Pilgrim?
well, nothing, but if he asks me, it's going to have a lot to do with the landing of Tony Martin, if you know what I mean.
I think I know what you mean. All right. Now, Gracie will sing with plenty of money in you. Sing it, Gracie.
I have never envied folks with money. Millionaires don't get along so well. You have me, but not a bit of money. Still a combination would be swell. Oh, baby, what I could do with plenty of money and you. In spite of our worries that money brings, just a little filthy lucre buys a lot of things, and you could take me to places I'd like to go. But outside of that, I've no use for dough. It's the root of all evil, of strife and upheaval. But give me that money and you go dig a little deeper. Dig a little deeper.
That's the gold digger's lullaby.
Oh, I'd like a fur coat that was made of me. I'd like to have vintage champagne to drink. I'd like a square-card emerald diamond ring. And you can't imagine how much joy a yacht can bring. And I'd play all the Rivieras in winter time and climb the Sierras in summertime. So's the root of all evil, of strife and upheaval. But I'm certain, honey, that life could be funny. Oh, George, you look funny. Oh, la, 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 la. I don't know the finish. A happy Thanksgiving. Oh, la, 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 la. Oh, pass me the
Wait a minute.
3 cheers for the Americas. 3 vitamins for Campbell's tomato juice. Oh, la, 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 la. Good night, everybody. I'll see you next Wednesday. Oh, la, 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 la. La, 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 la. La, 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 la.
This is the Columbia Broadcasting System.
It's the Don Lee Station, Los Angeles. Time signal courtesy Schaefer Pen and Pencil Company.